Yeah, you know, we'll shake hands after the game, but right now, you know, there are no friendships to be won or lost when it comes down to Saturday.
You don't want your big brother to beat you or your little brother to beat you, so you go out there with everything you got just to beat them, just because, you know, this is our turf this time. We want to beat them on our turf.
For the 94th time, one of the South's greatest rivalries, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Is sold out for this annual battle in state between Mississippi State and the Ole Miss Rebels. It's senior day in Starkville. Both of these teams are bowl eligible, but both believe they have to win today to make sure they go into postseason play. Hi everyone, I'm Bob Kessling along with Dave Rowe. Welcome to the Egg Bowl. This is a souped-up, hard-charging series that's got plenty of emotions. Unfortunately, those emotions spilled over onto the field before the game.
Well, they certainly did, Bob. There's no one that enjoys rivalries more than I do, but this was uncalled for. It was just a terrible scene about an hour or so before the game started. There were altercations all across the field, and there was probably 80 players that were involved in this situation. You can see, though, just turmoil. And the coaches started to try to get them apart. The officials were doing the best that they could, but it was completely from sideline to sideline.
There are two officials on the field before the game during this time. They did the best they could. Finally, the coaches took over, separated the players, and, of course, now trying to get everything back in order for the game. Now, Dave, talk about the emotions from a player's standpoint.
Well, from a player's standpoint, you're all juiced up. You go out there, something like that happens, and it really gets the adrenaline pumping. But what they have to do, both teams right now have to go back in that locker room. They have to focus on what their game plan is, Bob. They have to come out, and they have to execute, because you just can't. That emotion won't last long.
Yeah, both of these teams know they have to win today if they want to go into postseason play. So today it's Ole Miss and Mississippi State, the Egg Bowl from Scott Field, as Jackie Sherrill leading his Bulldogs against arch rival Ole Miss.
Today's Bell South SEC Game of the Week is brought to you by Bell South. Bell South is proud to be the official telecommunications partner of the SEC. By the Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance Company, the vision to power your dreams. By Mazda, experience cars and trucks built with a passion for the road. Mazda. By Morgan Keegan, the South's premier investment firm. And by Sonic, where we invite you to drive in for a change.
Ole Miss and Mississippi State getting set to go here in Scott Field. It's been raining most of the morning. It's slacked off a bit now. Drizzly, overcast skies. Shouldn't affect the game very much. The field's in good shape. We get set for Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Let's go downstairs now to the other member of our broadcast crew, Warren Pepper.
Bob, a real quick explanation on what you may have heard about the big pregame fight. It took place about 10 minutes of 2 local time, and it was all over the field. The officials decided, after some discussion with both coaches and with the group of themselves, there would be no ejections, and both coaches sighed a relief there. They're going to let these guys go at it from here on, but there were some ugly moments in that pregame fight, but it was so widespread they didn't feel like that they could adequately adjudicate any penalties to either side, so they let them both go as they are.
And you see the officials, they had their work cut out for them, Dave, before this game to separate everything and sort things out.
Well, Bob, as we were talking, the two officials come out before the game, an hour before the game, but there was not a chance that they could control what happened. Not a chance.
Officials ready to go. The temperature, you see, it's kind of warm today for November, but it's very humid. You see the wind, and there is drizzle. There was some serious rain early this morning, but it's passed through, so it should be relatively dry conditions as we start things today. Mississippi State won the toss and deferred, and so the Bulldogs will kick it off. Glad you're with us today. Bob Tetzling along with Dave Rowe. And Warren Pepper from sold-out Scott Field. There's one of the most dangerous kickoff returners in the game, Dave.
Well, we've seen him go all the way many times. Tremendous competitor, not big. You see 5'10", 188, but he can flat out fly. He can move. I mean, he's got the speed, Bob. A lot of people are considering that he is the fastest running back in college football today. He runs around a 4.3, 4.29, 40-yard dash, so he's an incredible football player. He can break it anytime.
So John Avery stepping back to get the kickoff from Jeff Walker. Glad you're with us today for the Egg Bowl. Plenty at stake for both of these football teams. It'll go to John Avery at the goal line. Avery, look at the speed and the quickness. Cuts back against the grain and gets hammered to the ground. Out across the 25-yard line. 28 yards on the return. As you see Stuart Patridge, who will bring out his Ole Miss Rebels. Great numbers this year for Patridge. The 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He has set several Ole Miss school records and goes to work with the ball at the 29-yard line.
And the one thing that you have to like about Patridge is he plays within his ability. He does not make mistakes. He's an accurate quarterback.
Avery, the tailback. Rufus French, number 9, one of the best tight ends in the SEC. We'll keep an eye out on him. And State, of course, as usual, in the Jolie Dunn defense, they could blitz anytime, any place. A lot of movement there. Flags down.
Yeah, about the only person that didn't move was the center, but the 2 offensive guards pulled out. Look at what it looked like. It was going to be a roll to the strong side. That's a dead ball penalty, false start on the offense.
Doyle Jackson is our referee. And there's our Nation's Bank starting lineups. First on Ole Miss on offense.
Well, Rufus French is the go-to guy, especially on third downs and when there's blitz. They've got a good backfield there, especially led by the legs of John Avery, which we will watch today.
First down and 15. Avery trying to get outside, picks his way for a couple, and he's knocked down. As you see the Nation's Bank Ole Miss offensive line.
Well, when you look across this line, it's a good line. A lot of youngsters in that line, but boy, the man in the middle, Matt Luke, has he got a match today? He's going to go up against Eric Dotson. He has to give away 100 pounds.
Stuart Patridge brings his team to the line. Second down for the Rebels. State shows blitz, doesn't come. Patridge pump fake, fires long, overshoots his man. Out there intent for Andre Roan. Isaiah McGill was back on defense. Now the Nation's Bank starting lineup on defense for State.
Well, there's that load in the middle. Eric Dotson, good push man, gets good pressure in there. Conley Earls and Greer, good, strong defensive line. The linebackers, it's a 2-man linebacker with a defensive secondary led by Isaiah McGill. 5 interceptions. It's a strong defensive unit, and of course, there's their leader, Jolie Dunn.
Bulldogs showing blitz on third down and long. Not coming. Patridge has time, and he's got his man. That's Corey Peterson on the reception. And let's see where they mark it. It's going to be close to a first down. Tim Nelson comes up to make the stop on Corey Peterson, a great possession receiver.
Boy, and this is a good pocket. You see the pocket protection that Ole Miss gives Patridge as he looks down, throws it right in the seam. Good curl right in there. You got to get that first down yardage. He got just enough, Bob.
13 is what he needed. 13 is what he got. So the Rebels get a first down on their first possession. Just started here, first quarter in Starkville. John Avery. Look at the quickness to the outside. There are not many backs who can get up that quick to the corner.
Well, one of the real problems that Mississippi State is going to have today is whether they blitz or not. Because when you blitz against John Avery, if they break the seam and he gets just to the line of scrimmage, he can be gone. You see what he does on this? Little misdirection now. Looking inside, doesn't see it now. Burn to the corner. A lot of backs wouldn't pick up 4 or 5 yards on a play like this. But I think there was a penalty. I thought I saw the left guard move a little early.
They will take the penalty, will the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Yeah, I thought I saw Metcalf. That's the call. Illegal. We might be able to see it. Watch the left of your screen, 79. See if he doesn't move just a second early. Yeah, right there. That's Metcalf, number 79. He's a freshman. Big guy, 6'2", 300 pounds, and he's good.
He's going to be a good one, playing in his first Egg Bowl. Patridge dumps it off. He's got his man, Grant Hurd. Hurd on the reception, and he's rolled down by Derek Rush. Rush, the start today, of course, one of the seniors on this Mississippi State defensive lineup.
Well, one of the things you have to like is crossing patterns and out patterns. What they do is they just get separation. This is drive them deep and run underneath. The underneath pattern comes free on that, and they're able to run. There he is. Now watch, little crossing pattern. He's covered there. Now he breaks into the open. If you give him that much time, you give Patridge that much time, he's going to hit him.
Last year, Mississippi State won the game and sacked Patridge 9 times. Now another delay, and again, little talking going on. French and Greg Favors looking at each other.
Well, I thought that might have been Coburn, number 74, who jumped offside. He's a left tackle.
Well, that's 3 illegal procedure penalties for Ole Miss on this drive.
Well, one of the things you hear how loud this crowd is. There's not a seat. Everybody's standing, screaming. So that's got to present a problem for the offense. They just can't hear the snap counts.
Noel Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator, trying to get the plays in and get them off on time. Tommy Tuberville, what a terrific job he's done here at Ole Miss, rebuilding this Rebel program. They've got a winning season assured. Now they're trying to win their way into a bowl game. They think they need to win today to get there. Patridge had a man open in the flat. He waits for the second receiver to come open. That's Corey Peterson. He's going to be short of a first down. Kendall Roberson comes up to make the stop. 14 yards on the reception, and it's going to leave the Bulldogs about a yard short.
Boy, you have to credit this big offensive line. Look at this. They stuff the middle. There's a double blitz in the middle. They just flatten them. Now look at Patridge. Slide, slide, slide. Wait for your receiver to come out. And Peterson's got the good hands, and he gets enough. He's going to bring up third down about a foot.
They give it to the second man through, Deuce McAllister. He slips at the point of attack, and we'll see where they're going to mark the football.
Well, he did. He absolutely slipped. He was looking for now they're about a yard short where they marked this football. But we know Tommy Tuberville, and he goes for it a lot of times in this situation.
Well, Tuberville's first decision of the day, and he's made it. They're going for it, fourth down. They've been pretty good. 73% so far in these fourth down conversions. Second man through, they'll get it this time. Deuce McAllister. Now they shove him back. They've already marked the ball, though. The ball has been marked across midfield.
McAllister had to make the 50-yard line. The marker was right on the 50-yard line. He easily broke that plane. But what Jackie Sherrill is saying that he kept on running.
But that's where they marked it. His forward progress.
What is this? A tough play. Over top the middle. That's the strength of Mississippi State. And he just gets stuck right there. Now, is he trying to run, or is he just trying to get down? I think he's just trying to get down. They gave him the forward progress. That's a good call.
Second first down on the drive for Ole Miss. They've held the ball 4.5 minutes now on this opening possession in a scoreless game in Starkville. Handoff, John Avery. Hit behind the line of scrimmage by a blitzing Eric Brown, and then spun down. Brown, of course, a guy who has been injured quite often in his career. When he's healthy, he's one of the best secondary guys in the conference.
Yeah, he's the strong safety. He comes up there. They play a nickel defense all the time. 2 backers and 5 defensive backs. And Eric Brown is the force man. He's the strong safety, or dog safety as they call him here, forces that run play.
Stuart Patridge, his dad played at Mississippi State, so did his granddad. So there's some big-time rivalry blood in this game for that family. Second down, Patridge looking. Again, fires in the flat. Good defensive play that time. Terrific recovery by Kendall Roberson. He jumps in front of the intended receiver, Grant Hurd. It'll be third down for Ole Miss.
And, Bob, a lot of times when you have a wet field, as we do today, you think the advantage goes to the defense, but it goes to the offense. This is just a great play by Roberson, number 24. Staying with him, and they just get that hand. That ball was right on target. Now, if you're an Ole Miss fan, you're saying Patridge is throwing the ball with efficiency, and he's throwing it accuracy.
10th play of this opening drive. And a third down and long for the Rebels. The deep out pattern's got his man. Grant Hurd, and that should be good enough for a first down. Again, they're picking on Kendall Roberson, who's getting the start here on senior day.
Boy, and Patrick just throwing the ball with great accuracy. That's what you want. The coaches that sit upstairs in the box, what they're doing is they're looking at Patrick and saying, as we look at it on split screen, watch the timing and watch Patrick step up in the pocket, good pocket awareness, deliver the ball, go high, allow the receiver to get it. And Grant Hurd comes down. He's made some good catches. That's good coordination between the quarterback and the wide receiver.
Patridge, who is setting records with his accuracy, off to a good start today. 2 tight ends in the lineup now for Ole Miss. And a handoff goes to Avery. Trying to get outside, breaks a tackle, but can't break the second. All that for about 1.5 yards.
Well, it's a different defense that I'm seeing from Mississippi State. In talking with Joe Lee Dunn, what he said to us, we're afraid to blitz. And he's known, he is the blitz guru and defensive guru in this conference. But he's afraid to blitz because he says if Avery breaks it, we don't have anybody that can catch him.
Kevin Sluter made the last stop for that Mississippi State defense. Patridge sends Sheldon Morris to the top of the screen and out of the lineup. So they had too many men on the field. Second down and about 8 yards to go.
You've got to watch the time clock. It's ticking down.
Just gets it off with 1 second to go. Patridge waits, and he's got his man, but it's too high. Corey Peterson just couldn't hang on. He was hit when the ball got there by Tim Nelson.
Well, 2 things about Patridge on this play, Bob. The first thing is he recognized the blitz. Mississippi State came up, got in the gaps. He recognized the blitz. He had 1 receiver out here, kept max protection, and just barely overthrew it. That's a very catchable football, and a lot of times Peterson comes down with that football.
Well, the Ole Miss offense facing its 4th third down conversion. They've also had, remember, a 4th down conversion on this opening drive. They've had it for over 6 minutes now.
9 men on the line of scrimmage. Look at the crowd.
And they're coming. Patridge has time. Got a man wide open over the middle. Andre Roan's going to walk in for an opening touchdown for the Rebels.
Scrimmage. They were going to come after him, and boy, you have to credit that offensive line, giving him great time, Bob. He's standing back there. He's not under pressure.
Steve Lindsey on to attempt the extra point, and he tacks it on, and Ole Miss, an impressive opening drive. They march it right down the field to score. Andre Roan, his 2nd touchdown of the season. And the Rebels off to a good start, 7-0 against the Bulldogs. Welcome back to our Bell South SEC Game of the Week. Ole Miss against Mississippi State.
9 men on the line of scrimmage. Look at the time that Patridge has. Finds his receiver Roan out there just on a crossing pattern right across the middle. One-on-one coverage. Just does not stay with him. Anthony Derricks missed the tackle. And if you're Mississippi, Ole Miss, that's exactly what you want to do, because you want to get Ole Miss out of that potential smash it down your throat. Now they've got a lead. Now Mississippi State's got to play catch up on their offensive series.
Senior Steve Lindsey will kick it off for the Rebels. Mississippi State leads the conference in kickoff returns. Robert Isaac and Lorenzo Armstead are down deep for the Bulldogs. You see the scoring drive. Impressive, 13 plays, 71 yards, but took 6:21 off the clock. Lindsey to boot it deep.
Wow.
Way back in the end.
Wow.
Isaac's not coming out. And so the Bulldogs will take over at their own 20-yard line. Matt Wyatt now comes onto the field to lead Mississippi State at its first possession. Sophomore out of Prattville, Alabama. He's thrown 6 touchdown passes, but the 13 interceptions, Dave, and that's been a concern.
Yeah, that really has been. They like his arm. They think he's got a strong arm. They like his leadership. He said the team rallies around him, but he's been inconsistent.
Mississippi State, 10th in the league in total offense. And now they take the field, trailing in the contest, 7-0. Opens the game at tailback. He gets the ball first. Walker Wright finally drags him down, but that's a good gain on first down. more than 10 yards, 11 in fact, for a first down. Now the Nations Bank offense for Mississippi State.
Well, for Mississippi State, their big go-to guy is Kevin Prentice out there. You see the yards per reception. They've got good backs. They're going to start today. Reginald Kelly starting at tight end. Their line led by the big man, Robert Hicks. He's the skinniest 351-pounder I've ever seen, but it's a solid offensive line.
How can a 351-pound guy be skinny?
I could not believe it. I looked at him, and he was skinny.
He is a mountain. He is just impressive. Good hard run at that time by Isaac. And now a penalty way away from the ball. Some more taunting going on out there.
Yeah, that was up with Woodbury. You see number 1 there, Woodbury and Thigpen, the corner. And that was 20 yards away from the play. Now, what's the call?
Dave, you've played in a lot of rivalry games, emotional games, and as a player, after you have especially what happened before the game, you've got to control yourself.
Yes, you certainly do. You cannot. You see a personal foul, it's going to be marched off against Mississippi State. You cannot allow your emotions to dictate, because then you make foolish mistakes. Then you get out of your game plan. Then you try to play with emotion, and all of a sudden it wanes on you. And that's just not what you can do. Jackie Sherrill's got to get his team rallied around, of course, Matt Wyatt, the quarterback.
And Woodbury, of course, is a senior. You don't expect that personal foul penalties out of a senior. And Jackie Sherrill takes him right out of the game. 2 tight ends now in for Mississippi State. That's a big penalty. Second down at 23. Wyatt rolls, fires over the middle, got his man, and he's hammered. Completion of Matthew Butler, but he paid for it as Timothy Strickland put him on the ground. Now it's time for the Nations Bank Ole Miss defense.
Well, you have to love Brock Kreitz. He's a former quarterback, came on, played linebacker, and he's great. They've got a good, solid line, and their defensive secondary is a solid secondary, led by Thigpen, the one who was just in that altercation. But Kreitz, former quarterback, you don't see them step up into a linebacker spot very often.
So he doesn't talk much. He just leads by example on the field. Third down, 13. Short of the first down by about 6 yards. So good coverage by Ole Miss's defense.
Well, Wyatt's not going to beat you running the football. He's going to beat you with his arm. And what happens is Nate Wayne just kind of closes. Pocket, good pocket here. Good protection. Look downfield. You got to call this a defensive secondary coverage. Right here, he bails out of the pocket now. Once he crosses that line, everybody come up and get him. And you see Nate Wayne, number 38, comes up and sticks him for bringing up 4th down.
Andre Roan back to get the punt from Jeff Walker. Booming high spiral. He's had a great year kicking the football, and that's another good one. It'll back up Ole Miss inside its 20-yard line. 41 times this year, Walker has booted one 50 yards or more. That one travels 46, but great hang time and backs up Ole Miss. So the Rebels will have the ball, 1st and 10 at their 18. Remember last year, 1996, defense was a key in this Egg Bowl. Mississippi State got all their points from its defense. Here's how Tim Brando called it.
And this one picked off. Aaron Brown, touchdown, Mississippi State. Dumps in the end zone. That's going to be a safety.
So again, all the points last year on defense. So far, Ole Miss's offense has been impressive, and Peterson's open again. Dave, they've thrown that same pattern now 3 times.
Well, it's a seam pattern. What you do is you bring Peterson off about 7-8 yards, and he just kind of bends into the seam on the zone coverage. Left to your screen, you're going to see Peterson coming off the ball, and look at the seam, right in the seam. See the defensive people right around him? Nelson and Roberson right side by side, right in between him. He catches the football.
Who's got him, the linebacker or the safety?
You've got to react quickly to the football. Look at those yardage, 100 yards already. On a zone coverage, the corner's got to come in and make that play if he doesn't have anything outside of it.
Avery, good play that time. Nice defensive work. Tim Nelson, who's been very active so far in this first quarter, drops Avery for a loss.
Well, one of the things that Joe Lee Dunn does is he takes away things that they do best, and they know that John Avery is going to be a big factor. So they're playing to take him away, and they're going to let you have a few passes, but first things first, they've got to eliminate Avery in this football game.
You see Joe Lee Dunn, no headsets. He doesn't talk to the guys upstairs much. Just gets little tips and cues every once in a while from them about alignments and how many personnel in the game. Patridge got his man Avery in the flat. Bulldogs cover up nicely. It's only a pickup of about 3 yards on the play. Derek Rush gets out there along with the middle linebacker, Barron Simpson, before Avery can get his motor going. And if he gets it going, he's tough.
Boy. Well, I know you really liked him when we were at Mississippi doing the football game earlier, working out on Friday in the weight room. Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah.
He's a good football, good kid. And I think you'll see a lot more of running Avery out into the flat and dumping the football to him. We're trying to get him in that one-on-one situation.
This will be Ole Miss's 5th third-down conversion of this first quarter.
There's an audible.
Patridge. He's trying to throw that seam pattern. Nobody there, so he dumps it out. And his fullback, Eli Anding, makes the catch. It's his 15th catch of the year. He's actually caught the ball more than he's run it. But he's going to be well short of a first down. There is a flag down. There was some confusion, Dave, for Ole Miss at the line of scrimmage.
Certainly was at the line of scrimmage. Illegal motion against the offense. Now, if you're the defense, you refuse this, force Ole Miss to punt. A lot of people would think that maybe Tommy Tuberville would go with it, but it worked out well in that first series. He was able to convert that 4th down. So I think in this situation, just punt the football away.
Tuberville's team right now 6-4 overall, 3-4 in the conference. Last year they went 5-6, had a chance for a winning season, but they lost in the Egg Bowl. And the year before they won the Egg Bowl to finish 6-5. State gets pressure on the punt. And it's going to take a Mississippi State bounce and will be down at the 23-yard line. The snapper, Bobby Killian, down to cover it. 33 yards on the punt. Ole Miss leads 7-0 here in the Egg Bowl. We'll be back after a word from your local SEC station. Some proud parents here at Scott Field on Senior Day for Mississippi State. Right now, the Bulldogs are trailing their arch rival, Ole Miss, 7-0. The Bulldogs now have the ball. Second time they've had it, 23-yard line. Last week, this Mississippi State team lost a big game against Arkansas, and now they try and really get their confidence back today, Dave.
Yeah, they do. They need a confidence drive right here. You just can't keep on giving the football back.
James Johnson gets the ball for the first time today. Bulls ahead for a couple of yards. Brock Kreitz able to make the stop. Let's go downstairs to Warren Pepper.
Bob, assistant coach Joe Lee Dunn, the defensive coordinator, has coached at both of these schools. There are only 2 million people in this state, so you can imagine how much everybody cares about it. Dunn says there's a big difference. When he was at Ole Miss, people were very concerned about Mississippi State. At Mississippi State, though, he said half are concerned about Alabama, the other half about Mississippi State. So you got to beat them both in order to keep everybody off your back.
Exactly. Today, though, they're just concerned about Ole Miss. Pass over the middle, great catch. What a terrific catch by Trey Belcher.
Great concentration by Belcher on the crossing pattern. I think he had the strong safety. Watch the strong safety. See if he doesn't flash in front of Belcher, 34, on this pass route. Look right there. See, flash right there. That just takes concentration. Got to look that football in.
Timothy Strickland was back there for Ole Miss, but that ball was just right on the money.
Well, and that's a confidence builder for Matt Wyatt.
Johnson straight up the middle, banging forward for a couple of more yards. Robert Gates is able to make the stop. It'll be a second down play now for Mississippi State.
Well, Johnson is he's their strength back right there, Bob. He has got to be able to control this football game with his running. He's got great leg strength. They really like him. He's a junior. He's got 950 yards. He was their go-to guy all season long. He's been their go-to guy. They need to let him control this football game.
Toss sweep. Johnson hit right at the line of scrimmage. They drag him down. Armigas Spearman comes up, the sophomore from Bruce, Mississippi. Big, good-looking linebacker at 6'2", around 240. He was one of those guys that everybody in the country was recruiting, and Tommy Tuberville able to get him in one of the key recruits in this rebuilding job.
Certainly was. He's just a sophomore. He's learning the football game. A lot of pressure on Wyatt as he looks to the sideline for the call. They have to start converting those third downs, because the longer you let Mississippi in this football game, the longer they won't be able to take control.
Jackie Sherrill says his team needs mental discipline today to pull this game out. A third down and 6. Wyatt throws it out. He's got his man, Lamont Woodbury.
I don't know if he got
And it depends on where they mark it. Looks like it's going to be short.
Well, he had to make the 45-yard line. I think he dove back for the football a little bit short. He has to make the 45-yard line. Watch where the ball comes down, the tail end right there. When he catches that football and he looks it in, does a good job of concentration, but I think he came up just a little bit short.
The official Al Matthews, the former great wide receiver at Vanderbilt, right there to make the call. And it's going to be 4th down and less than a yard. Wyatt's going to take it himself. I don't know. Rebels shove him back. They think they stopped him.
He actually had to make the 45-yard line. He's not going to make much more than the 45. Now, exactly where were the flags? Excuse me, I should say, where were the chains? Jackie Sherrill says 1st down.
I think they're going to measure it. Johnny Jones met him straight up in the hole.
When that always amazes me, you've got a running back like James Johnson back there who's averaging 5 yards a carry, and you let a quarterback take a drop step and do a quarterback sneak.
But Davy's 6'5". He's got some size.
I know that, but if you're not going to dive over top, sometimes you come up short.
Well, he just barely got it.
Wow.
He needed all that 6'5", didn't he?
Did you see what the officials, what the kids were saying? The team was saying, hey, he didn't make it. The chains weren't straight. But look right here. He doesn't make it by much.
Well, he's not going to whoop Johnny Jones in a wrestling match, is he?
No, he's sure not. But what the Ole Miss players were saying was, wait a minute, the chains weren't straight. They wanted one of those links tightened a little bit.
Matt White's dad's a minister, very religious young man. Takes it, keeps it, got room, now he's got a man. Oh, he slipped and fell down. Trying to throw the ball deep to Kevin Prentice. Prentice fell down around the 15-yard line. Some quarterback pressure again by Johnny Jones on him, and I think looks like it's starting to rain a little bit, Dave.
Yeah, it's awfully humid and muggy here, and Prentice went down, tried to do a little curl pattern to come back, and his feet just slipped out from under him. But Matt Wyatt did a good job getting outside the pressure. Now look downfield, you see the ball is thrown where he thought Prentice would be. Prentice got up and, of course, wasn't able to get over there.
2nd down and 10 now for Matt Wyatt. His team trailing 7-0, be winding down the first quarter here in Starkville. Prentice on the end around, but he's going to be ridden down by Mitch Baker. Mitch Baker smelled it out and rolled him down in the backfield, but there is a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
And every time you see a flag like this, you almost always think defense offsides lining up in the neutral zone. That's got to be the fear of Tommy Tuberville. But what a good play for Jackie Sherrill. He's just saying, hey, maybe it isn't.
I think Mississippi State misaligned, I'll bet you. They don't have men on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, from where the flag was thrown, they might not have had enough men on the line of scrimmage. But a reverse right here, but look at the outside play right there.
What a great play by Mitch Baker. Sophomore out of Germantown, Tennessee. Started his career at Tennessee, transferred here to Ole Miss, and has now moved into the starting lineup. He has played extremely well for him. He's had 3 tackles, now 4 on the season, 4 losses. Made his first start last week against Georgia. And the first quarter winds down. Ole Miss took the opening kickoff and marches it down the field for a touchdown. Mississippi State now trying to answer as we start things here in the second quarter at sold-out Scott Field. Nothing after 1 quarter. We now move to the second with Mississippi State with the football. Bob Kessling along with Dave Rohn, our Bell South SEC Game of the Week. Our producer today is Roger Roebuck, and our director is Ken Dennis. Dave, first half, you've got to think about Ole Miss, how they've been able to control things on our Jefferson Pilot stats.
Well, that first drive was just an incredible drive. You see the yardage all in favor of Ole Miss. They gambled 4th down. They got it. They came back on the next 4th down and said, no, we're going to punt it away. We're going to make Mississippi State drive a long way. But their defense is playing extremely well for Ole Miss.
Tommy Tuberville's team off to a good start in the first quarter. You see Nate Wayne, the leader of that defense. Four wide receivers on 3rd down for Mississippi State. Wyatt throwing it long, undershoots his man, and it's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Malika Griffin.
And Bob, Bob, there was a lot of talk that Griffin would not play this football game. He's got a very tender ankle. But this is as well as you can play the play. You play inside position on the wide receiver. You see how high the ball came off. Look at that. Great inside position. You go high for it. You use your body as the shield, and you can see the results. They give it back to Ole Miss.
Pass was intended for Kevin Prentice. I guess you Mississippi State, though, Dave. That's almost as good as a punt.
Yeah, it's not a bad play. It gets him down on the 20-yard line. Mississippi State's just got to crank it up on defense. They have got to stop Ole Miss quickly.
Pitch back. Nothing much there. Again, John Avery can't find anywhere to run as he is knocked down by Eric Brown.
Well, again, we talk about the Joe Lee Dunn defense taking something away. They are obviously keying on John Avery. They're going to take that part of the game away. It's almost as if they say, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us on the arm of Patridge.
5 rushes, only 5 yards so far for John Avery. On the year, Avery with 752 yards on the ground and 7 touchdowns. In the flat to Rufus French, his tight end, puts his head down, gets the first down. French at 6'4", 245, a sophomore. He's a load when he gets started.
Boy, he's got great hands, soft hands. He's a basketball player, a baseball player, and you'll see what he does when he plays football. Great hands out in the flat. Now, turn quickly, get upfield, look at the banner, look for the marker, try to get that first down yardage, and he does.
Tim Nelson hitting first. You see tight end receptions. And Rufus French right up there among the best in the country.
Well, you look at his size at 6'4", 245, but he can run like a gazelle. He's just tremendous runner.
Speaking of being able to run, John Avery finds the seam, stays in bounds, and dances up across the 40-yard line to the 41. Knocked out by Eric Brown, a pickup of 7 for John Avery, and you see the rain coming down harder.
Yeah, and a good block there by Anding, number 7, who's their lead back. He picks up right here. He's the one that springs it. He's got a block on Nelson, just kind of kicks him to the outside, and you see right there Avery is able to duck back underneath and pick up some yardage. Nelson gets back into the play, though.
John Avery. Then we mentioned the fact he's out of Asheville, North Carolina, a teammate of Tennessee's Leonard Little in high school. They played in the same backfield. Avery now takes it left, runs around Greg Favors, gets a good block at the point, again by Eli Anding with a terrific block to spring Avery for the first down. Nations Bank, a proud sponsor of SEC football, is your place for mortgage loans. Call 1-800-NATIONS today. Nations Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. On the scoreboard today, Tennessee has knocked off Vanderbilt 17-10. That was up in Knoxville, so Tennessee's going to the SEC championship game. Patridge into double coverage, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Kendall Roberson. Well, they've been making good percentage passes. That time they forced one and it burned them.
Well, I didn't know who he was throwing it to. I thought he was throwing it to Peterson coming across, but then at the last minute I saw number 5 flash in, but that ball looked like it was intended for Mississippi State. They were the closest ones around it.
Roberson with his 4th interception of the year. And so Mississippi State gets the ball back with 13:33 to go in the second. Ole Miss leading 7-0, but Roberson's gotten the ball back for the Bulldogs.
Well, again, I don't know if this ball sailed up his hands or what. It's a little bit wet out there, but the ball flies. Look at this, nobody around, really. I thought maybe he was going to Roan there, number 5. But to throw that football, that was a poor decision, and that's something that Stuart Patridge does not do. He does not force the ball into trouble.
Tommy Tuberville's team's got to play a little defense now as State gets it back. Patridge, as we mentioned, has set all kinds of records for his percentage, and that's his first interception in over 200 passes.
Right now, Mississippi State's got to grind this football out. They need a drive. They need to reestablish their dominance, especially up front.
Matt Wyatt's got a man in the slot. It's Kevin Prentice. And he's into Ole Miss territory. Knocked marked out at the 35-yard line. Timothy Strickland and Nate Wayne make the stop, but not before. It's a 17-yard pickup by Prentice.
Well, it's a good call there because it's an audible on the line. Prentice heard it, just took the inside route, and he's got a clear pass to him. What happened is Ole Miss came up, and they had about 7 people in the box. And what happened, Matt Wyatt read it, bang, called that audible, threw that strikeout to Prentice.
Prentice is really the only legitimate deep threat on this Mississippi State team. Now here's a cutback by James Johnson. He's into the secondary, rolls over 2 Rebels, and is knocked down inside the 25-yard line. He is big and strong, and he got rolling that time and picked up 20.
Boy, great vision by him. Watch, he's going to run to the right and watch the hole develop. Right there. You see him see it right there? Back in the inside, just cuts back against the grain. That's what you want your running back to do. To see that hole when it develops to the backside, when somebody overplays it, it takes 2 people to bring him down. Thigpen and Strickland both.
Stayed on the move at the 25. They give it back to Johnson. Bart Kreitz is on his back with help by Derek Burgess down low. And so Johnson's gain is only a couple. You can't teach, though, Dave, that cutback.
No,
I mean, a running back has to have that.
He certainly does. As you run that football, you're running at a point, like the 5 or 7 hole, off tackle, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of your eye, Bob, you just see it develop. And you're right, you can't teach looking back for that backside cut. The great running backs,
feel it.
yeah, the great running backs always feel it, and they always make that cut.
2nd and 7 now. One back, that's Johnson. He gets the ball. He drags a couple of Rebels inside the 20-yard line. Jason Klingon comes up from the safety spot to make the stop. Omega Spearman also in there for the Rebels.
Yeah, watch Klingon come up, number 23. He's going to get a ride. Hits him right there. Now watch where he finally comes down. He's just holding on. He gets about an extra 3 yards. Well, Woodbury was lucky he didn't get hurt on that play, falling on the back of the legs. Big down here, 3rd down. Big down for both teams.
It up, gets rid of it before he gets hit, but he undershoots his man, intended for Reginald Kelly. So now it'll be a 4th down for Mississippi State. Good pressure that time.
Oh, boy, from Walker Jones outside. Walker Jones, and if you're Matt Wyatt, you've got to hear Walker Jones. He's running on a straight shot right down your throat, and he just had to unload the ball a little bit early.
Brian Hazelwood now in, the junior. This will be a 36-yard attempt. Lots of leg, and he missed it. 6 of 7 from that range this season, but he hooks that one, and State still shut out. 7-0 Ole Miss in Starkville. 7-0 Ole Miss. We're 4 minutes deep into the 2nd quarter. Let's go downstairs now to Warren Pepper.
Bob, this is one of the flattest fields you'll ever see in college football, but they have a special base underneath the topsoil here of sand, and they also have like pipes and a huge drainage system built in here. The agronomy school here at Mississippi State has kind of come in and done some things that you don't see done at a lot of places, but with the rain beginning to fall again, field still looks in pretty good shape. You have seen a couple of times, though, guys slip on the quick cuts.
Patrick's bringing his team out on a 1st and 10. Counter play, John Avery. Look at the quick feet. Out to the 27-yard line. 3 yards short of a 1st down. Greg Favors comes up, makes his 1st stop of the day.
Boy, and he's just following in there, the big guys in the middle. Just getting those good blocks, coming back against the grain, bang. Just driving in the hole. That's exactly what you want to do. Just follow him, drive in there. Eli Ending, number 7, gets a good block. And Avery just staying right tight by him.
Second down, 3 yards to go, and movement everywhere. So those sort things out between the Rebels and the Bulldogs here, and a penalty ensuing as Ole Miss apparently jumped. That'll cost them 5. Stay tuned at halftime for our Bell South You Call the Play feature. A look at a big call from SEC games past. See the penalty yards today. most of those illegal procedure
all
penalties.
4 of Ole Miss's are illegal procedures starting. The offensive line not being able to hear the snap count. A lot of people in the stands today, as you talked about, a big crowd here. I hear some cowbells.
They're smoking a few in here. Patridge looking over the middle. Oh, that's almost intercepted, intended for Spearman. That was also almost a touchdown for Barrett Simpson. The middle linebacker from right here at Starkville just couldn't hang on.
Boy, Simpson makes a nice break on the quarterback. Reading the eyes. Look, 45 right in the middle. Looking at the quarterback's eyes now. Break on the football. Just gets the hand right in there. Boy, one more step, and you're right. He was down the sideline.
Now, Dave, early in the game, Ole Miss was able to get that seam pattern. So have they brought their linebackers back a little bit?
Yeah, I think they're trying to read the quarterback's eyes a little bit more. They know that Rufus French is one of their big go-to guys.
3rd down, 8 to go for the Rebels. Patridge, plenty of time over the middle. That's almost intercepted again. Larry Campbell couldn't hang on to it, but the ball was right in his hands.
But he had Corey Peterson right behind him. Another inch or two, and Peterson would still be running. He's on a crossing pattern, but look at the amount of time that Patridge has. Just sit back there, wait, look downfield. Mississippi State has got to get some pressure on Patridge.
Kevin Cooper in to punt for Ole Miss, and Robert Isaacs is back deep for Mississippi State. Wobbly kick. Isaacs. Oh, he's run into. Flags down on the field. And I'll see what the penalty is going to be. Bradley Robinson was pushed into him, but again, it doesn't matter. If you run into the kicker, it's your fault.
Yeah. Boy, that wasn't even close as far as running into the kicker. I think that's what he's saying.
Into the receiver.
Yeah, into the receiver. I think what he's saying is I was pushed into him. You have to give him 2 yards to catch the football. And you see Tommy Tuberville, he doesn't like mistakes. That wasn't even close. Look at this. Not even close. Now what you do right here is just, see, there's the fair catch signal. Oh, that's the rough one. That's the 15 yards. That's the flagrant one because he had signaled the fair catch at the last second. When you see that signal, you have got to break off. That's a personal foul.
So Tommy Tuberville's team makes a mistake there, and it gives the Bulldogs great field position at the 41-yard line. Now the Rebel defense has been able to pitch a shutout so far, but now State, they missed a field goal their last possession. Now the Bulldogs bring it right back into Ole Miss territory. Good reaction that time. James Johnson is smacked by Andre Harrison in the backfield.
Boy, Harrison got a great jump on the ball. Just bang, right down the line. He was 3 yards in the backfield. Watch him, 15, right of your screen. He's just going to come right down the line. Look at that, right through there, bang. That's the way you stop James Johnson.
That was just a missed assignment.
Yeah, it sure was. They didn't cut off the backside. You can't allow the backside to penetrate like that.
Harrison, the senior out of Washington, D.C., 6'3", 255. Big play there. A loss of 4 for Johnson and the Bulldogs. Wyatt throws it out short. Got some pressure again. Tried to get Prentice, but he was hit before he could let it go.
And Bob, for Jackie Sherrill right now, I know what's going through his mind. Matt Wyatt is inconsistent. Does he go with Rob Morgan? We've seen Rob Morgan in the past, or does he stay with Matt Wyatt? Maybe give Matt Wyatt a chance to come over the sideline and kind of gather himself, because he's not throwing strikes right now.
3rd and 14 for Mississippi State. Interesting in this rivalry that the visiting team has won every year since 1993, and Ole Miss up here 7-0. 3rd down, 14. Wyatt out pattern. Lahidi Grant didn't get turned around in time, and the pass is incomplete. As you see, Rob Morgan, the backup quarterback, ready at the call.
Well, a lot of times what you'll do is you'll just take a quarterback out for a series. I don't know what Matt Wyatt's staying out there for, because it was 4th down, unless they decided to go for it. Well, it looks like they have. 4th down, 14 yards to go. Now, he is a punter. You remember he pooch kicks a little bit and drops that ball down inside. There he goes, drops back to the pooch kick, and he just punts the ball over and hopes for the roll.
Ole Miss is back. They expected that. Andre Rono's going to let it bounce, and State is going to knock it dead at the 1-yard line. 44 yards. What a terrific pooch punt by Matt Wyatt. Lamont Woodbury was down to cover it and keep it from going in the end zone. So the Rebels are backed up, but they still lead at 7-0 here in the second. We'll be back after a word from your local SEC station. 7-0 Ole Miss. 8:45 to go in the second quarter here in Starkville. Rebels are pinned back, but Dave, the Rebels in the sack position against Arkansas, and John Avery took a 97 against them.
He certainly did. I would look for Avery maybe to take it again. I like to pass out of this situation.
Well, you got your wish. Pass deflected, but it's still complete. Corey Peterson, great catch. I think they got a hand on it at the line of scrimmage, but Peterson, great concentration, and hauls in the reception.
Well, there's an old saying in football, I'd rather be lucky than good. Watch this split screen. Throwing out of the end zone, a lot of confidence. Offensive line giving a lot of time. You're right, the ball got tipped right there on the line of scrimmage. That was tipped by James Greer, number 90, but good look in there by Peterson. Had a lot of room, made a good reaction back to the football, and got him out of trouble.
Rebels now with some room to operate. Patrick's throwing long. He had his tight end French, but he overshoots him. Roberson's back there defending, but they ran French in the seam again and just overshot him.
And Bob, how long has it been since we've seen a Mississippi State team not blitz? And that's what they've decided to do. They are not going to blitz. Joe Lee Dunn makes adjustments. You talked about him without the headset. He coaches the game from a feel. You see him signaling in right there. He gets a feel. He says, all I want to know is formations, unbalanced lines, and things like that. But they've just decided they're not going to blitz unless they absolutely have to. They're going to drop back in coverage.
Let's see if he goes to Corey Peterson here. Nope, hands it off to John Avery. And well, he turned nothing into about a 5-yard game. Tim Nelson finally gets him down.
Boy, and Anding gets another block. You're going to see Anding. He gets a good block on the right end. Larry Campbell, 46, right there, drives him out. Boom, that's what you want. But there were there's a lot of help there. But look what speed does for you. When you've got that kind of speed, you see all the Mississippi State players, they're kind of back on their heels. They don't want to commit because John Avery can just kind of juke you, and off he goes.
3rd and 5. You see the Rebels hitting on 50% of those so far.
A lot of people in the box right now up front.
Attridge over the middle, drops. Tough catch. Grant Hurd was banged by Ezell McGill.
What a pass in coverage for Hurd to get his hands on that football. All he had to do was bring it back. Left to right on your screen. Number 88 is Grant Hurd. Crossing pattern right there. All he has to do is bring that football back in. But a good defensive play. That's what you want to do. You want to get your hands in there. That's what McGill does, number 8. He rips the football down. He got his hand in between the hands of Grant Hurd.
So Isaac drops back deep for Mississippi State. End over end punt. Isaac gets it at his own 41-yard line. Gets a seam. Isaac down the sideline and run out of bounds at the 34-yard line. 37-yard punt, better return, 25. And the Bulldogs are in good shape again.
Well, Bob, you knew as soon as that ball came off his foot, it was end over end. And look what he does. Gets upfield immediately, and I love that about receivers. When they don't try to look and go wide, they just break the seam and bang, right up the middle. Pretty good hit there by Cooper.
New quarterback of the game, Rob Morgan, was warming up a moment ago. And so now Lynn Amity, the offensive coordinator, going to change pitchers here, see if that gets some spark into this Ole Miss offense, or Mississippi State offense. And off goes straight ahead to James Johnson. Picks up 3. Clock winds down under 7 minutes.
And Bob, a lot of times you do this because Matt Wyatt is inconsistent. He's thrown that interception. He's only 4 of 9. He's not really in control of the offense. A lot of times you'll do this for a series or two just to see how Rob Morgan reacts and to take the pressure and allow Matt Wyatt just to take kind of a deep breath and get his composure back.
This is the 3rd best rushing team in the SEC behind LSU and Georgia. They want to try and stand the ground here against Ole Miss. Johnson pulls his way for a first down inside the 25-yard line. Nate Wayne brings him down, but not before Johnson gets the first.
Well, if I had an offensive line like Mississippi State's, I think I'd run the football too. They're big, they're strong, they're great drive blockers. And they can literally just drive the football down your throat. You look at Hicks at 6'8", 351. Randy Thomas next to him is 292. The center is 290, Eric Allen. They've got some bosses up front.
It inside the 5 for another first down, and the Bulldogs are on the march. 19 yards. Nate Wayne saves the touchdown as McKinley, the junior, got a full head of steam going that time.
Boy, this is just power football. Big man on big man. Drive him off the ball. You see the Ole Miss players going backwards, and you're just going to have to get on for a ride there and hope that you get some help. But Mississippi State's gone back to the basics. Run the football.
First and goal for the Bulldogs, trying to tie the game up. Johnson in the backfield. Great play that time. Derek Burgess penetrates and gets him around the ankles. Second and goal.
Now that will really help if you get penetration. Watch 56 left of your screen. Just kind of pop in the backfield. Bang. Get your arms around him. Get him before he gets going. And what you do if you're Ole Miss is you start doing a little bit more slanting. Try not to take him big man on big man. Trying to get the angles a little bit better.
You see the Bulldogs red zone opportunities. 0 for 1 today. 3 tight ends now into the game for Mississippi State. They got that power I formation. Stack Morgan. Rolling right, looking in the end zone. Touchdown. John Jennings. Jennings had a touchdown 2 years ago in the Egg Bowl, and he's got one today as Rob Morgan comes on in relief and gets him in the end zone.
Boy, what a play by Morgan. He's going to roll strong side. He's going to look. Watch the pressure he gets. He gets stuck right here. Bang! As he throws that football, no regard for himself. He just drills it in there.
Now Morgan will be on to hold for the extra point attempt by Brian Hazelwood. This to tie the game. And we are knotted at 7 with 4:49 to go in the first half. Well, he came on in relief against South Carolina and led him to a touchdown and got him back in that game, and he's done it here against arch rival Ole Miss. 7-7 in the second. And again, Rob Morgan leads the touchdown strike for Mississippi State. Let's go downstairs now to Warren Pepper.
Coming up at halftime, Bob, we'll talk with the Associate Commissioner for the SEC, Mark Womack. Maybe he can explain all the ins and outs of the bowl possibilities for this conference. I mean, how many will actually playing at some time in the postseason? That's just some of what we'll talk about at intermission.
Also, Rose rewinds coming up, so the Bulldogs come back.
Oh, look at Morgan. Bang! I mean, Walker Jones just ran right through him. You see the official step right in there? Morgan, he's just proud of his touchdown pass.
Morgan hadn't completed a pass in his last 4 games because he hadn't thrown one. So he comes in relief here and gets the touchdown strike. Jeff Walker's jacked up and kicks it through the end zone. There's the touchdown maker, John Jennings. Junior out of Taylorsville, Mississippi. First touchdown this season. But again, remember, he had one a couple of years ago in the Egg Bowl.
There's Matt Wyatt. He's standing up on top of the bench. He was cheering him on.
Well, let's see if Ole Miss can answer. The Rebels scored on their first possession, but they've been shut out ever since. John Avery going to work again. They string him out, force him out of bounds after a pickup of just a couple. Again, Tim Nelson coming over to make the play.
They've got to control this clock. If you're Ole Miss, you want to go in no worse than 7-7. They use John Avery to get to the outside. The only thing he does is go out of bounds. That stops the clock. You want to keep the clock rolling.
And the clock is at 4:33 and stopped right now as Avery went out of bounds.
I thought they would use Avery a little bit more in the slot to try to get the ball to him, match him up on a linebacker. He's very, very, very productive if he gets the football on him.
Avery shoots outside, turns the corner. It'll be close to a first down at the 30-yard line. Well, you think you got a shot at him, and all of a sudden it's like the Roadrunner.
Yeah, he does. And Eli Anding has blocked as well as you can block. This time he takes out Derek Rush, the right linebacker. Watch number 7 right here. Bang, just cut him right inside. Look, he gets 2 players. That allows Avery to make that corner. And look, he just looks at that flag and just makes it by just a whisker.
You know, Anding is one of those guys that was one of the seniors on this team, decided to stay, not transfer with the probation and the problems Ole Miss has had. He's got to be awfully proud that he's going out on a winning note this season and still with the Rebels a chance to get to a bowl game. Avery, nowhere to go this time. Tim Nelson again. That time he caught him at the pass. That's 5 first-half tackles for Tim Nelson.
Boy, and they're running to the corners because they know Avery is running to the corners. So the defensive secondary is running hard to the point of attack, thinking that he's going to go outside. And that's a good defensive call. They do not want to allow John Avery to get outside of him because then you lose all your help from the inside.
Deuce McAllister in. Avery's run about 300 yards side to side so far today.
He's got to be a little bit tired.
McAllister cut back, hits his head down, goes for a first down. And the crowd yells, Deuce.
Boy, that was a great block. Did you see what happened? He just stopped at the line and allowed the blocker to take back inside. It might have been Coburn or Metcalf. Left to your screen. Watch this. He just kind of lets him go right to your screen, I should say. Just allows that block to just go inside and then picks up the first down yards. That was a nice cut.
12-yard gain. They're going to see if it's a first down. There's Terrence Metcalf, 6'3", 303, true freshman out of Clarksdale, Mississippi. Another one of those guys that everybody wanted.
Yeah. Oh, and he's got great feet. When you talk about offensive linemen, they don't talk about body strength. They talk about great feet. When we were talking yesterday, they said Metcalf has got the greatest feet. It's just like he weighs about 102 pounds instead of 302. Quick feet, always has them moving. Drive doesn't lock them in. Drive blocks and keeps those feet just grinding.
Started the first game this year at left tackle. Now he's become a fixture on the other side. Right guard. Close to the 45-yard line, and the maroon shirts push him back.
This is a clock-controlling drive. If they can pick up 4 or 5 yards on that first down, then you put that pass situation. You don't know what they're going to do. It opens up so many things when you get that first down. You get 4 to 5 yards.
Final score, Georgia drove the length of the field in the closing seconds to beat Georgia Tech 27-24. Tennessee, of course, already has won today against Vanderbilt, 17-10. McAllister up the middle, and drags a couple of Bulldogs for a couple of yards. Barron Simpson, the first Bulldog there to make the collision, then helped out by his teammates.
See, and they're trying to funnel him in the middle. Watch Barron Simpson, number 45, step up right here. There's the hole. Look at Simpson. Bang. Boy, and that's what you want. Square in the hole, get that hat on him, wrap those hands around him. That's just picture-perfect tackling.
Give that Ole Miss line credit. Todd Wade, Boyd Kitchen, Matt Luke, Terrence Metcalf, Devon Coburn. Third down and about 2 yards to go. And Ole Miss decides it wants a timeout.
Maybe they want to get Avery back in there. Avery's been out for about 3 plays now.
Yeah, catching his breath a little bit. So Stuart Patridge over to talk with the Ole Miss Brain Trust. This is the first time that both of these teams have had winning records coming into this game since 1992. And, of course, it's the 70th Egg Bowl. The first trophy actually was awarded back in 1927, although they've been playing in the series. This is the 94th meeting. Of course, now we have 2 more wins today for SEC teams. So you see the teams that are bowl eligible. Tennessee finishes the regular season 10-1. They're going to play in the SEC championship against 9-2 Auburn next week. But Florida, now Georgia, all with 9 wins. LSU with 8. Then the 2 teams that are really trying to figure out if they're going to fix in this mix. Mississippi State at 7-3 and Ole Miss at 6-4. So, Dave, you got a situation that you got 2 teams that might be left out.
Yeah, can you imagine a team that has 7 victories? Everybody, the magical number is that you have to have 6 Division I victories to go. Can you imagine a team with 7 not being able to go?
And, of course, we'll talk to Mark Womack of the SEC office at halftime to try and clear up the bowl picture a little bit. There are a lot of people in Oxford and Starkville and all through the state of Mississippi that maybe a couple of weeks ago thought both of these teams were going to bowl games.
Several bowl representatives here today.
Independence Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Liberty Bowl here, watching the Rebels and the Bulldogs in a 7-7 struggle. Handoff to McAllister, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Kevin Sluter penetrates to drop him. Sluter, of course, last year had a big play, returned a fumble 60 yards for a 4th quarter touchdown, and now makes a big play to force Ole Miss into a 4th down decision.
Boy, he does a great job getting penetration. You watch the penetration up in the line there. You see he has to turn around. That's what makes the play, when you can penetrate. I think that was Derek Rush who really penetrated in there and caused him to change his direction. Now, Mississippi State calls timeout because they want the clock. They realize now they're going to get the football back. Sluter's really been a surprise for him this year. Just a sophomore. He moves well to the football. They think he's got a great future.
Tommy Tuberville, of course, a terrific start at Ole Miss, now 17-15, and he's worked for some of the best coaches in the business. Jimmy Johnson while at Miami. And now we talk about the situation where you could get 7 teams from the SEC in the bowl picture. That is the SEC champion and an enlarged pick to the Alliance. And then there are 4 contracted bowls, so that would be 6. And then if the Motor City or the Liberty Bowl would take one of the SEC teams, or another scenario, 2 teams might go to the Independence Bowl.
Yeah, there's a lot. That's why I said there's a lot of bowl representatives here today, and these are 2 outstanding football teams. I think if you'd said to Ole Miss in the beginning of the season, hey, how would you like to go to a bowl with 6 or 7 victories, I think they'd have been just tickled to death.
So where do we sign up?
Exactly.
4th down, Rebels are going to punt it. Robert Isaac trips back to his 15, makes the fair catch this time. Ole Miss that time doesn't pound Isaac to the ground before he catches it. 38 yards on the punt. And so the Bulldogs will have it at the 15-yard line, and let's see who they go with at quarterback. Looks like it's going to be Rob Morgan.
Well, I think you go with the hot hand. He had a good series that last one. They ran the football with efficiency. They ran it effectively up the middle, and he threw a touchdown strike.
He's had 1 start this year, that against Northeast Louisiana, but was brilliant in the South Carolina comeback. And now let's see if he can move the Bulldogs down the field in the closing minutes here of the first half in a 7-7 game.
One thing they like about him is he moves around the pocket very well.
Handoff, Isaac cuts to the outside. 1 tackle away from maybe going all the way. Nate Wayne was able to hold on and bring him down.
And if you're Ole Miss, you're saying, hey, go ahead and run the football. We don't mind that as the clock ticks down under 1 minute and 20 seconds. They're worried about the pass, the deep pass to get the pattern, get behind them. Right now, their secondary is saying, play cautious, make them catch the football in front of you. Don't give the big, long ones.
State doesn't stop the clock. It rolls. And off again, Isaac. That time he breaks the seam down the sideline and dances out of bounds for a first down, and he stops the clock. Malika Griffin is the one who ran him out, but not before he picked up 18.
Good block there by number 69, Stoney Price. Comes up on the safety, Strickland, to knock him out. That's what broke the play, and gets as many yards as he can, and then goes out of bounds.
Stoney Price, junior out of Winfield, Alabama. State will rotate about 10 offensive linemen. They like to keep them fresh, especially have them fresh for the 4th quarter.
Got to go through the air. Just got to go through the air.
Robert Isaac picks up a couple. Omega Spearman makes the stop, and Mississippi State decides to burn a timeout.
50 seconds left. You think they have to go to the air, but of course now we've seen them break some big ones. We've seen Isaac break them. We've seen Greer break them. And of course Johnson break them. You see Jackie Sherrill saying, look at the clock. Make sure that you keep. They have one timeout left. Use it efficiently, and that's what he's telling them. You just keep an eye on that clock and watch it.
Jackie Sherrill, of course, recently agreed to a new 4-year contract here at Mississippi State.
Boy, he's had a tough year, Bob. I mean, the loss of Kiefer McGee early. I think he lost his father-in-law. Was it about mid-season?
And then Ernest Garner.
And then Ernest Garner. Golly, that's a tough year for him.
Garner was a defensive player for him that was going to be one of their leaders, and it's come up with a rare disease that they're trying to combat right now. You see the coaching wins. Jackie Sherrill now with 41 here at Mississippi State. So climbing up the all-time winning list, and he's very confident that his Bulldogs are going to be playing in a bowl game someplace.
Well, when we were talking to him yesterday, I said, now what would you have thought, Coach, if somebody had said, you're going to have 7 victories? He said, I would have expected that. He said, I expect 8. So he had a lot of confidence in this team.
50 seconds to go. Only one receiver in the lineup now. Let's press for Mississippi State in motion. Side. And the clock's going to run because he didn't get a first down.
Well, they've got to call a timeout because you just don't want that clock to run on down.
And it's rolling now with 40 seconds to go.
Now they're going to try to save it so they can get in field goal position. But they've got to hurry because the clock is just ticking down. It was at 50 seconds when the play was down, and now it's below 30.
That's 3rd down and short. Hand it off to the fullback, Akil Greer. They'll pick up the first down, so that will stop the clock. In time for them to move the chains.
See, I would have called it on the 3rd down, Bob. I would have called the timeout there.
Yeah,
then the first down would stop the clock.
Yep, they've used their last timeout.
Well, this is just power up the middle. And again, if you're Ole Miss, you're saying, hey, just go ahead and run it because you're still a long way from field goal position. You've got to go downfield. The problem that you have is you have 18 seconds. That's 18 seconds to run the play, either get it out of bounds to stop the clock, make enough yardage for a first down, but then you've got to hustle downfield, get your team on the field, spike the football, and hope you get a field goal try. Boy, clock management is so important in a football game.
Tommy Tuberville's outsized, outmanned Rebels. I mean, they've gone to some games only dressing out 42, or I should say 52, 53 scholarship players, and yet they got a 6-4 record and a chance to go to a bowl game. You see Brian Hazelwood loosening up. He missed a field goal today. He's hit one from 53 this season. So he's got plenty of leg, but they still need, Dave, maybe 10 more yards to get him in range.
A 53-yard field goal is from, probably about, what, the 35. Is that right? I saw you look over at me.
Yeah. No, 35 and you had 10 would be 45.
Right. No, 35-yard line. And 10 yards for the end zone.
I got you. Oh, okay.
And then 7 yards back. Come on, Bob.
I thought you said he was kicking it from the 35.
No, he's got to make to the 35.
Okay, I got you. I'll give you that.
Okay, buddy. Thank you, pal.
We're just clarifying it for our viewers at home. So what Morgan does here. Morgan going to run it. And he's going to be dragged down. No timeouts.
Oh, 9 seconds left.
Clock runs. Evidently, Mississippi State got it back. They did. Randy Thomas is the guy who scrambled over to fall on the football. And so the first half comes to a close.
Win another altercation just as we closed the field there. I saw one of the coaches run out to get in between them.
Heated feelings in this game. Of course, if you remember, if you're just joining us, there was a fight before the game during warm-ups between these two teams. And now they're kind of eyeing each other as they head toward the locker room. Another aspect, they all have to go basically to the same place, up the tunnel to our right. But the teams head to the locker room, tied in this game at 7-7. Ole Miss is going to go up first, then Mississippi State will go next. Let's go downstairs to Warren Pepper.
All right, Coach, 7-7.
Well, it's been a hard-fought game. We started off pretty good on offense, but we can't get the ball down the field. They're playing a lot of zone defense on us, so we had to start running the football. But we're playing pretty good defensively. We just got to play a little bit better also on the run. We lost our center, Matt Luke. Hopefully he can come back.
You do score. First possession, 13-yard drive, and then you haven't done much since.
Well, they were blitzing, and that's what we was wanting them to do, and we picked it up. They got a little bit smarter than what we thought, so they they went to zone, and they're going to make us earn it. So we got to be a little bit more patient and concentrate on offense, and hopefully we can move it down the score.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much. Coach Tom Tubbyberg goes to the locker room. They've been playing since 1915. We've got a tie game, and we'll be back with more in just a moment.
Today's Bell South SEC Game of the Week is brought to you by Sonic, where we invite you to drive in for a change. And by BP. At BP, everything we do is to keep you moving. Jefferson Pilot Sports, exclusive presentation of the Bell South SEC Game of the Week, is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. Check the yellow pages for the Nationwide agent nearest you. By Toyota. Toyota every day. And by Nations Bank.
Set to go, second half. Bob Kessling, Dave Rowe, Warren Pepper with you from Scott Field in Starkville, Mississippi. Hard-hitting football game in the first 30 minutes. Now we get set for the second half. Steve Lindsay to kick it off, and down deep is Robert Isaac and Lorenz Armstead for Mississippi State.
Bob, now you see the adjustments that both teams have made at halftime, and you've got to have a little bit more offense out of Mississippi State. They've got to be able to drive the football, run it.
Lindsay to kick it off. High, it's going to come right down about the goal line. Armstead will down it in the end zone. And so Mississippi State will take over first and 10 at the 20. There you see the first half possessions for Mississippi State. They got good in the middle there. They did drive down, missed the field goal, then they punted it, then got the touchdown.
But you see, other than that 9-play drive, they've been 3, 4, 5 plays, and they've been out of there. They need to put a consistent drive together. They go back with Rob Morgan at quarterback. He had the hot hand.
Morgan coming into the game, 22 of 38 with an interception and a touchdown with 309 yards. Got a touchdown pass in this one to John Jennings in the first half. First play of the second half goes to Johnson up the middle. Not much there. Nate Wayne came around the corner to get him. Johnny Jones also there. You see Morgan in the first half. The only pass he threw was the touchdown to Jennings.
Well, that was a big one. Because if they had driven all the way down there again and hadn't gotten any score, their emotions would have been terrible going into the locker room. But they're pumped up.
Matt Wyatt watching and waiting his turn again. Morgan in the throw. They overshot his man. Looking again for Jennings. That was a bullet pass there.
Yes, it was. I didn't think Jennings had a shot at it, though, but that's a tough pass to bay when you run against your body and have to square up. But again, under some pretty good pressure there by Andre Harrison. Yeah.
So Morgan now faced with a third down. 8 yards to go.
Oh, and you don't want to give it up here, Bob, because if you do, you know you're going to give it to Ole Miss at great field position, midfield or so.
Morgan, a coach, his dad was a high school coach. He's been around football all his life. Here facing a tough spot, 3rd and 8. Opening possession, third quarter for Mississippi State. Morgan, everybody's covered up. He throws it, got his man.
Well, where did he catch it?
Woodbury wrestles free. Finally, they blow it down, and more John going on between the two. Let's see where they mark it.
Well, he had to make the 30-yard line. He came close.
Now they're going to mark him short, I believe. They're going to mark it about 6 inches short.
He has to make the 30-yard line. It's good in pattern right here. Just stop curl. He's got the first down there, but now he comes back for the football, and you see clearly on the inside of the 30-yard line when he catches it.
Good mark that time by the officials as he did come inside that 30-yard line. Does a little left jab when he gets done with the run. Jeff Walker back into the game. Back deep is Andre Roan. Another good punt. Roan takes it at his 25, and he's buried immediately. Good coverage downfield for Mississippi State as the Bulldogs get down there with Eugene Clinton. There you see Tommy Tuberville's first half possessions. The opening drive scored a touchdown, but after that, didn't get much
No,
done.
they haven't done anything. Look at that opening drive, 13 plays. You remember they went on that 1 4th down. They made it, Bob. They were really successful. That's what he's got to do. He's got to gamble a little bit.
45 yards on the punt, 3 on the return. Stuart Patridge. He's had 8 200-yard games passing. That's a school record this season. He's got a chance to do it again today, and he's on the move and looking to throw. Dumps it out behind his intended receiver, the tight end, French.
Boy, and French didn't like that. Did you see what happened? What French did? You see the official run in there. French said the ball was thrown low, and he still got hit a little bit, and he didn't like it. Watch the tail end of this. Ball's pitched, and bang, see right there? And he just turns around and lets him know, I don't like that. Man, I wouldn't pick on Rufus French, not with his size. Nelson doesn't back down, though, does he?
You know, Dave, you can just feel the intensity and the rivalry and what these teams feel about each other.
Especially, Bob, after last week, what happened to Mississippi State against Arkansas. Their season rode on that football game, and they were terribly discouraged.
They controlled their own destiny last week, but they lost to Arkansas. Now they just keep their fingers crossed to win today and earn a bowl bid. John Avery hit by Perrin Simpson in the middle.
Well, and, you know, on the other side of the field for Mississippi, for Ole Miss, they have had a lot of adversity. They fought back. You talked about the 21 seniors that stuck it in there and just, you know, their whole dream this year was to go to a bowl game, and Tommy Tuberville made believers out of them this season.
They're bowl eligible for the first time since 1992. Ball's deflected the line of scrimmage. John Hilliard sticks his big mitt up there and knocks it away, and Ole Miss has got it punted away.
Well, it's just like throwing through the woods when Hilliard, number 95, gets his hands up there. There's a big tree. Watch this. Boom, just climb the ladder, get up high, try and get in that quarterback's face. Look at Hilliard, 95, getting up, knocking that football down.
Todd Wade and he were wrestling, but Hilliard able to jump up and swat it away, the sophomore out of Houston, Texas.
Well, that's got some height on it.
Good high spiraling punt by Cooper, and a fair catch is asked for by Robert Isaac. Well, the Ole Miss fans want a flag on that one, but they're not going to get it. So Rob Morgan coming back out for Mississippi State in a tie game in the third. Our Nationwide Insurance Scholar Athlete of the Week is linebacker Walker Jones at the University of Mississippi. The senior from Jackson has a 3.17 GPA in general business. Congratulations to Walker Jones, our Nationwide Insurance Scholar Athlete of the Week. Rebel football has been in their family. His dad, of course, was a great player at Ole Miss, teammate of Archie Manning's. And, of course, Archie and the Jones family still very close. Peyton and Walker talk maybe once or twice a week.
Yeah, that's great to see. That's the kind of rivalry that you like to see. It's time for Rob Morgan to make some things happen. When you talk about quarterbacks, you've got to have something happen. You've got to go back and do some things. He has that one pass completion. They had a good drive running the football. Maybe they'll just continue to run the football.
3 minutes deep into the third quarter. Swing pass to Isaac. Dancing around with nowhere to go. Great coverage by Ole Miss as Nate Wayne able to snuff it out and get back there and keep Isaac from having anywhere to go.
And Bob, did you see what Nate Wayne did that time? He outran the block. He got to the outside, came around the block by the big lineman, and was able to get up into the receiver's face. That's exactly what you want to do. Run, get outside, force that ball back inside, and Nate Wayne played very well. Of course, wears the famous Chucky Mullins number here at Ole Miss.
Sure does. And there's also, of course, a terrific friend of Kiefer McGee. In fact, wears Kiefer's number on the back of his helmet and on his gloves while he plays. Ole Miss again snuffs it out. Isaac nowhere to go as the Rebels defense has come up big here in the third quarter.
Well, they have. They're stopping the run. That's what they've got to do. Jackie Sherrill knows that they're going to live by the run. I think, you know, if I'm a Jackie Sherrill, I might think about going back to Matt Wyatt, because right now Rob Morgan's not done anything throwing the football.
Brock Kreitz, the leading tackler for Ole Miss, makes that stop. You see Wyatt still trying to stay loose on the sideline. You got to figure they'll see him before the day's done.
Yeah.
Well, Wyatt's got a big third down here. Third down and 13.
Nobody to block for him. Everybody's out wide.
5 wide receivers on the pattern this time. Wyatt dumps it over to the leading receiver, Lamont Woodbury, but he's going to be wrestled down way short of the first down at the 26-yard line. Again, Nate Wayne, his 8th tackle of the day, forces Mississippi State into a punting scenario.
Well, they give him a lot of time. He steps up in the pocket, but you've got to throw for the first down yardage. This is just a dump pass to your back. That's not going to pick up yardage. Got to go to the first down marker.
Dave, there are some hicks being delivered in this one. I mean, this has been unbelievable. Just
it really is. A lot of people flying to the football, Bob. You see the number of players going to the football.
Jeff Walker to punt it away. Low driving spiral. It's going to bounce in front of Roan and take a Mississippi State bounce to the 25-yard line, and that's where the Rebels will take over. The Egg Bowl, 1997, and we are tied at 7-all. 49 yards on the kick. Nate Wayne, of course, is the Ole Miss Chucky Mullins Award winner. Wears number 38, but also number 21 on his uniform in honor of his friend, Kiefer McGee, the Mississippi State Bulldog player who died before the season.
Because of what he stands for. You know, he was a hard-working person. He was a friend of mine, and I just, felt that I owe him that much respect.
Hand off, John Avery. Dropped. In fact, it was interesting, Nate Wayne and Kiefer McGee used to play basketball together, grew up together, and in this rivalry, and these teams going like this, it's really interesting to see the mutual respect that Nate Wayne had for Kiefer McGee.
Yeah, and you see what Nate Wayne's having done right now is getting that ankle taped. What they do is whenever you sprain an ankle during the game, a lot of times they don't take off the tape, they just tape right over top of the shoe. He's got the headsets on, he's the leader on defense, talking upstairs to the coaches.
The vocal leader of the Bulldog defense, Juice McAllister now on a tailback, and releases John Avery. Patrick's to throw it. Pressure. And he's going to be stopped for a loss. Eric Dotson comes in for his 3rd sack of the year.
Well, Eric Dotson is that big push in the middle. He's the big man up front, 6'3", 360, right over top of the center right there. And you see now they've had to make a change at center because Matt Luke was evidently was hurt.
Boyd Kitchen is now playing center. Let's get an update on Matt Luke from Warren Pepper.
Yeah, guys, he's got a sprained knee. They don't know that if he definitely will go back. They're letting him loosen it up a little bit. He is not in now, obviously.
But he's trying to get the kinks worked out of that bad knee. 3rd down, 15 to go. Dump pass and a whistle before they get it done. Do it to Eli Anding, but it won't count. They stopped it beforehand.
I wondered if they ran out of time, Bob, because that flag was thrown. The play had actually almost started. Dead ball.
Yeah, delay of the game. Back to Matt Luke a second. Tommy Tuberville said he's the toughest guy they've got on this team. Last year they lost him in the Tennessee game, and from there the Rebels really struggled, and they will struggle today if they can't get him back in there.
Everybody needs a leader, and that's what Matt Luke is in there at center. He makes all the calls, the blocking assignments up front, and he's tough. I mean, this is a game you want to be in.
His dad played at Ole Miss. His brother was a quarterback at Ole Miss. So this Egg Bowl means something to Matt Luke, and he'll be in there if it can. 3rd and 20 now after the penalty. Patrick got time, lets it fly, intended for Peterson, and it's going to be intercepted. Isel McGill picks it off, his 6th interception of the year.
Boy, McGill played this as well as you can play the football. The receiver on the ball was just designed to try and break it up. Right of your screen, going deep. You'll see the out pattern, and watch McGill, number 8. Fight right there. Now, you got to get your hand in there. If you're Peterson, you've got to pull that football out. Peterson was trying to play defense, but McGill would not be denied.
Dave, again, though, it was just about as good as a punt for Ole Miss, so you try and throw it long. Patridge picked off for the 2nd time today. And now the Bulldogs start the possession on the Mississippi side of the field, and Johnson taken off his feet by Timothy Strickland coming up from his safety position.
Let's go out now.
Well, if you're Mississippi State, you've got to do something on this drive.
Hey, happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom. That's Edward Smith, one of those dog safeties, saying happy birthday, Mom.
Rob Morgan brings them up with a 2nd and 7 to go. Johnson the tailback, McKinley the fullback. Johnson the pitch. And he's somersaulted down after a pickup of 1 or 2. Walker Jones flows out there. Timothy Strickland comes up also and forces it from the safety spot.
And Bob, you see the number of players that are just flying to the football. Now everybody is just running to the football on both teams. This is a hard-fought game. You talked about the rivalry. We saw what happened before the game when we had that disruption. But this is a game that neither team wants to lose. This is kind of bragging rights here in Mississippi.
You know, Jackie Sherrill was interesting yesterday. He's been in a bunch of rivalries. Pittsburgh, Penn State, Alabama, Auburn. Also Texas A&M and Texas, and he said this one is as intense as any of them because there are only 2 million people in the state and it means so much to them. Football is a way of life around here. Pass complete. His favorite receiver is John Jennings. Hauls it in. Jason Klingon makes the stop. And that'll be a first down for Mississippi State.
And all of a sudden you see Rob Morgan make a nice read across the middle. That time he's going to look over this way, but comes right back to Jennings, number 81, the tight end, on a little curl over to the center. That was good vision by the quarterback, good sight. He made the play. Look at the emotion on him.
Sophomore out of Vicksburg, Mississippi is Rob Morgan. And he hands it off to his tailback. Johnson inside the 15-yard line. Another first down for Mississippi State as they march down the field.
And now, Bob, you start to get the feel that Mississippi State's controlling that line of scrimmage, because anytime a running back comes through like that, he's not picking a hole. The hole is there. It's wide open. Just explodes off the ball. Look at the inside block right there. They run Nate Wayne past it. That was a huge hole.
Timothy Strickland saves the touchdown. 1st and 10. The ball's at the 15. Up the middle for fullback Dennis McKinley. Powers his way inside the 10.
And you've got to get in front of him. You have got to slide. Robert Gates, number 99, has got to get in front of him. And look at the worried look on Tommy Tuberville. You'll see Gates, number 99, he goes for a ride here. Just hooks on, and look at this. 5-6 yards on the ride. You can't do that. You've got to get in front of him. Stop him.
I tell you what, the Mississippi State offensive line is executing right now. Big Randy Thomas and Eric Allen. Oh, McKinley is hit straight up that time. Mitch Baker says that's enough of that.
Yeah. Boy, Baker did stick him. I'm not sure that Baker didn't take a shot and get hurt. Look at him, face to face.
Yeah, he hit him helmet to helmet right there. Mano a mano on that one.
Wow, you could hear that up here. That just rocked.
Baker does give him some size up the middle at 285, the sophomore out of Germantown, Tennessee, but he paid the price on that one.
Boy, that was just a face-to-face tackle. Like I said, that was just stick 'em.
Dave, we mentioned the fact that Mississippi State has that big size advantage. I mean, most of their guys over 300 pounds, and then Ole Miss is playing with Derek Burgess at 252, and Baker now at 285. Harrison's only 255. Johnny Jones, they list him at 230. I mean, it's just a game in the 3rd quarter here. Tommy Tuberville's got to be concerned about how much stamina his team has.
He certainly does. It's a numbers game, and Tommy Tuberville's running out of the numbers.
Tie game late in the 3rd. Good news for the Ole Miss Rebels. Mitch Baker is on the sidelines now. Walked off on his own power, but he took a shot, Dave.
Oh, he certainly did. He got a burner in the neck. Watch him to the right of your screen. Number 90. Hit in there, slide, and look at this stick. Bang! Right up in it. Sometimes you just get a burner where you get that neck kind of jammed down there and the arms kind of get a little bit weak. But it's good to see him sitting up there, and he's got a great future. He's just a sophomore. They really like him here.
Tim Mullins and the Ole Miss medical staff now taking a look at Mitch Baker as Rob Morgan now comes back onto the field. It's been a pretty impressive drive now.
Well, it certainly has been, and if you're Mississippi State, you don't want to come up short and have to kick a field goal. And if you're Ole Miss, you're saying, hey, hold them to a field goal try, and that keeps you right in the football game.
This is 3rd and 4. State bulked it up with all the tight ends in there now. Morgan with a broad pass didn't score, and Nakia Greer grabs it. Can't tiptoe down the sidelines, but it will be a first down. First First and goal for Mississippi State inside the 2.
Boy, a good play fake in the line. That really held the backers and allowed Morgan to roll back against the grain here. You're going to see it split screen at the bottom. Morgan play fake right there. Now come back outside, roll strong side, pick him up. Look at this, tippy toe down there. Gets the first down, 1 yard line. It's a good play. Morgan's really leading him. He's done a good job.
McKinley, Nakia Greer now, 2 fullbacks in the lineup with Johnson standing in the eye. He gets the ball and it's into the end zone. Touchdown, Mississippi State, and the Bulldogs take the lead.
Where they go, they're going to go to the right side. That's where they got Randy Thomas at 300 and Robert Hicks at 350. Strength football, big man on big man, as you called it. Mano y mano.
Nakia Greer leading the way for James Johnson, his 12th rushing touchdown of the year. Coming into the game 4th in the conference in rushing, scores it there. And the extra point is good by Brian Hazelwood. And Mississippi State has its first lead of the day. The Bulldogs lead it 14-7, and we'll be back with the Mississippi State kickoff. The first word from the local SEC station.
Call Alpha.
James Johnson gets the touchdown, also now over 1,000 yards for the season. The 3rd highest rushing mark in Mississippi State for a single year for James Johnson. 64 yards on the day. And his first touchdown. Kickoff going deep. John Avery at the goal line. Avery taken down at the 28-yard line. That's where the Ole Miss Rebels now will take possession, trailing for the first time in the game, and more fisticuffs.
Well, an important series right here for Ole Miss. Patridge has got to come out. He's got to lead them downfield. They've got to put some first downs on. That time when they gave the football up in their own territory, they put a lot of pressure on their defense. Rob Morgan standing on the sideline, just enjoying the game. Doesn't get a lot of opportunities, but he's had a big one today, Bob.
Matt Luke now back in at center, and that's good news for Ole Miss. Patridge, swing pass, Roan, oh, he's smacked. Gregory Favors, the senior from Atlanta, comes up with a tackle for the loss.
Well, we were thinking, where is Favors? You'll see number 56. Watch him come into your screen, left of your screen, come in here and make this play. Right there, it's all by himself. They missed the block on him, and bang! It's only his 3rd tackle of the day. They've really controlled him.
Dave, Mississippi State's made some changes in the defensive strategy. The first drive, Ole Miss was able to hit those seams. They've taken that away from them.
They certainly have. That's because they were blitzing. They're not blitzed now. They just dropped them back.
Avery on the corner. He's belted. Barron Simpson moves out from his middle linebacker post to bring him down.
And Bob, if I'm Stuart Patridge and I'm Ole Miss, I've got to look back to Corey Peterson on that curl. He's got to find him on one of those plays. They've got to look down. Rufus French, he's another one. He's their big tight end. They have not found him all day. They got to find him on a curl. He catches everything thrown in his area, and he's a big target. Not bigger.
Avery now needed 50 yards in the game to get 100 or 1,000 for the season. The check that. Avery at 7:52 coming in. Patridge swings it out. Oh, great catch. Great catch made by Rufus French. But he's going to be short of the first down.
Boy, that was a great catch. You talk about stretching out. That's what French did. Now all of a sudden Mississippi State's able to get a little bit more pressure on Patrick. You see those maroon shirts coming into your picture, and look at this stretch. Good concentration. Boy, Rufus French is going to be a tremendous prospect. He's certainly going to play at the next level.
Isaac drifts back. High floating kick. Isaac signals for, makes the fair catch at the 22-yard line. 46-yard punt. And now the Mississippi State Bulldogs take over, leading the game 14-7. The announcers for the game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. The broadcast, a copyright presentation, and use of the broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Bob Kessling along with Dave Rowe, Warren Pepper on the sidelines. Our director, Ken Dennis, and our producer today, Roger Roebuck, and the rest of our JP staff on hand. With now 2:07 to go, third quarter. Isaac up the middle. Churns for a couple of tough yards.
You know, Bob, you always talk about big series. This is a big series right here because Ole Miss has they've had the wind taken out of their sails right now. They cannot allow this drive to continue. You see the good block in there, the up back coming in there, Nakia Greer, just bang, popping in there, just getting those yards. Right now, if you're Ole Miss, you've got to cause something to happen. You've got to cause a stop, 3 and out, get the ball back for your offense. If you're Mississippi State, you just want to make no mistakes. Like that one right there. But he can reset.
Isaac cuts it outside, and he's rolled down. Walker Jones makes the play. Dave, explain the rule.
Yeah, the rule is the back who fell out of his stance, he went on the snap count, but if he resets, it's just like he just kind of readjusted his position.
Like he went in motion, but he's got to be set for a second.
Exactly. Unfortunately, they didn't snap the ball when he went in motion. So he reset, no penalty.
But a lineman doesn't have that luxury. Once a lineman sets, you're set.
You put your hand down on there, you can't pick your hand up if you're a lineman.
Under a minute to go, third quarter. Picks back Isaac to the corner. And first down, Nate Wayne slides out. Jason Klingon also out there to make the play, but not before Robert Isaac, the senior from Macomb, Mississippi, picks up the first down.
Well, a lot of people wonder why Robert Isaac starts ahead of James Johnson, and this is why. When you're in a tough situation, you want that senior leadership, and that's what Robert Isaac does for you. He knows how far he has to make. He's not a fumbler, and you can see where he ranks on the all-purpose yards. He's just a very valuable player.
Got a chance to go over 3,000 if he has a big fourth quarter. First down, Mississippi State. Not much going. On the first down play as they give the ball to the fullback, big Nakia Greer, the senior out of Hernando, Mississippi. As the clock rolls down under 10 seconds, third quarter.
Did you see that hand motion by Jackie Sherrill? Calm down, just let the quarter run out. We'll talk about it in just a second.
So we head to the fourth quarter. Mississippi State got the only points in the third. Tommy Tuberville's team down by a touchdown. It's Mississippi State 14, Ole Miss 7 as we head to the fourth quarter in Starkville. The Egg Bowl in Starkville, Mississippi State leading 14-7. Bob Kessling, Dave Rowe. This is a big possession now for Ole Miss.
It's huge because Ole Miss has got to make a stop. Their defense is just about out of gas. They know that because of the numbers. And Mississippi State will just take control of the football, drive it down your throat.
They call it the big uglies up front now trying to take over for Mississippi State. Jackie Sherrill's team trying to grind out a victory in this Egg Bowl. And moved to 8 wins on the season.
Bob, you didn't mean that personally.
No, no.
Big uglies?
No.
All right. I feel a lot better now.
15 minutes to go in the 97 version of the Egg Bowl. Morgan flips it out. Intended for Prentice. He was bumped off his route, and the pass is incomplete. Here's our Jefferson Pilot third quarter stats. And you see the total yards, Mississippi State trying to eke in front, and the rushing yards is a big key stat.
It's a huge stat, 150 to 65. We expected Mississippi State to take control of this football game, rushing the ball. Now they've got a lead, plus they're able to rush the football. Puts a lot of pressure on Tommy Tuberville.
Matt Wyatt now a cheerleader for Rob Morgan.
Boy, is this a big down. Third down and 10.
Can't get there. The pass outside. Trey Belcher can't hang on to it. Kreitz came up blitzing from the right side and got to Rob Morgan. And so Ole Miss comes up with a big stop.
Yeah, watch Kreitz, number 14. It almost makes like Rob Morgan just kind of gets a hitch. Boom, I know I'm going to get hit. He just kind of throws that ball into the ground. Interesting formation that time. They had 3 wideouts, all in a line, just right out to the left-hand side. You knew where he was going with the football.
Jeff Walker in the punt again. Andre Roan back. It's a high, lazy kick, and Roan's going to have to fair catch it. Can't get to it, and it rolls out of bounds untouched. But a great punt again by Jeff Walker, and what a day he has had. That's 47 yards on the punt with no return.
Well, you know, Jackie Sherrill's a great kicking coach. He does a lot of coaching on kicking. He's out here early, timing the snaps of the opponent's kicker, timing his own snaps, and he expects to win football games with the kicking game.
But he said something interesting yesterday about the fact in practice and in games, he never lets his guys kick with the wind. He always wants them kicking into the wind so they know about the adversity that can present. I guess you only get that false confidence. You want to know the adversity. John Avery cuts it back. John Avery trying to turn the corner and dances out of bounds at the 30-yard line. What a great run by Avery.
Boy, he can make things happen. When you have speed, you can do this. If you don't have speed, they catch you from the backside. This play is designed to go outside. Look at the lead block all the way to the outside. That's ending now. He sees it back here, and he's just going to use that speed, get a few yards now. Duck it to the outside, use that speed to go around him, pick up a few more yards. That is the big concern.
Yeah, do you see Big James Greer trying to put on the brakes and slap it into reverse all of a sudden? That won't get work. Avery breaks a tackle. Close to another first down. Brought down by Anthony Derricks. 8 yards on that pickup. He came into the game, Avery did, with 752 yards.
And Bob, I've played against players like John Avery with that great speed, and I can tell you, the big linemen, all they do is wave at him. Greer and, of course, Dotson, they're just saying, there he goes that way, over there he goes. And you just have to rely on those defensive backs to come up and get him.
He's at 100 yards in 5 of the last 6 games. Deuce McAllister in there now. They'll be close to a first down, but I don't think he got it. He needed about 2 yards.
Well, this is a do-or-die drive right here. If you're Stuart Patridge, you got to keep this drive alive. Your defense has just done what you've asked them to do. They've given you back the football. Now your offense has got to take control. You've got to get in that huddle. You got to suck it up, and you got to tell everybody, get in there and let's get some blocks. That's why you want the players like Matt Luke, Boyd Kitchen, Metcalf, Wade in there, and of course Coburn. You want those big guys that you can rely on this third down.
3 tight ends in the lineup now on third down and short. Hand off McAllister. He's not going to make it. He is not going to get there. They stack him up. Derek Rush is in the middle of it. Eric Dotson is also there. Now what do you do?
Well, now it's decision time for Tommy Tuberville. Does he want to put his defense back out there? If they don't make it on this next down, he's going to give Mississippi State great field position. But look at the point of attack. You don't see any shirts coming up. They were all up there expecting that run. I think you got to punt it.
Yeah, I do too. And that's what Tommy Tuberville feels as well. So into the contest comes Kevin Cooper to punt. And back deep is Robert Isaac, standing at his 20. That's another brilliant kick. Booming spiral. Isaac on a gallop. Oh, and he's banged down. Spearman covering on the punt. Big time hit. Mississippi State will have the ball. 44 yards on the punt. 12 hard-earned yards on the return. Bulldogs have it when we return.
Nice.
SEC football is brought to you in part by Shoney's, where you get an official full-size SEC football. Tommy Tuberville's Rebels now on defense. They've got to stop Mississippi State one more time and get it back.
There's a lot of pressure on that defense. A lot of pressure on that defense. And this is where Ole Miss runs into trouble because, again, you talk about numbers, you talk about players and backups, and they're not fresh right now.
Tennessee wins, moves on to the SEC championship game next week. They beat Vanderbilt 17-10. Georgia rallies in the final seconds. They drive the length of the field to beat Georgia Tech 27-24. And there's one that hurts Dave Rowe a little bit. Michigan State beats Penn State 49-14. Syracuse leads Miami. That's in the third. Here we're in the fourth. And Mississippi State up by a touchdown. James Johnson finding some room. Runs through a tackle. And is brought down to the 40-yard line. Good hard running that time by James Johnson. And Gary Thigpen finally gets him.
Well, this is good running at the attack and running through tackles. See Nate Wayne stops and goes around the block. Now, just run through tackles. Don't come up and be hit. Just run through them. You can see him right there, keeping those legs, getting them clear. He's running through.
11 yards on the gallop. by James Johnson, heading towards 100 yards today. As we mentioned, he's 4th in the SEC, averaging 95 yards on the ground per game, and he's at it again. Breaks another tackle down the sidelines, knocked out of bounds. Malika Griffin knocks him out of bounds, but a 19-yard game. Griffin might have saved a touchdown.
Well, you can't miss tackles. Just cannot miss tackles.
Let's go downstairs now to Warren Pepper.
Yeah, guys, you know, it seems every game we work with Mississippi State, we always start the game by talking about how big they are in that line. But, you know, they're just that big still at this point in the game late, and this is why they're so successful. They just wear you out.
Heck, they're getting bigger. I'm sure those Ole Miss guys think they're gaining weight, size, and inches every play. Oh, Morgan tripped coming out from underneath the center. Somebody stepped on him, it looked like.
Yeah, it looked like maybe the center did, because I saw Michael Boone, number 62, blowing through there. You'll see him 62 right of your screen, just blows through, and it looked as if he just tripped feet on the quarterback.
Might have been Craig Moore that stepped on him trying to pull. Let's see. Yep, there it is right there. It was Moore.
Yeah, sure was.
Trying to reach block. Loss of 3 on first down. Second down now for Mississippi State. Isaac into the game. Mississippi State wants to protect the football. They've done that pretty well this year.
Yeah, they really have. They've only fumbled the ball 13 times and lost 8 of them, Bob. That's an incredible thing, and that's good coaching. When you only fumble the ball 13 times, you're saying that you're teaching these backs to put that ball away. You get in traffic, cover it with the other hand. Don't make foolish mistakes. Don't try to stretch out there and get the ball knocked out of the way.
Clock runs under 11 minutes. Third down facing Rob Morgan. If you're just joining us, Morgan came on in the first half in place of Matt Wyatt. And Morgan right away got a touchdown for Mississippi State. He's been running the offense ever since. Morgan rolls and looks and tucks and gets rid of it, but it's short. Incomplete. Tried to get it to Terrence McCaskey. He was just scrambling for his life.
Yeah, he's trying to run out, get away from the pocket, roll a little bit weak side here, and come out and look and find someone. But once you put that football down, you decide to run with it. It's awfully hard to look downfield and pick up somebody. Right here, he decides he's going to try to run for it. Now, the last second, he sees he's going to get hit. He thinks he can pick it up. Can't find him.
Matt Wyatt now comes onto the game. Remember, he pooch punted a kick earlier in the game down to the 1. But you never know. He might throw it this time.
No, I think he's going to punt. I think Jackie Sherrill wants to play safe.
He booms that one. That's not going to get it done. Well, they almost hit it like a 7-iron, but it rolls into the end zone. 39 yards on the punt. And actually, Ole Miss, Mississippi State picks up 20 yards on the exchange. Stuart Patridge coming back. His team down by a touchdown. Be sure to visit the official internet site of the Southeastern Conference for up-to-date stats, game previews, coaches' comments, and much, much more. The SEC online at secsports.com. Bob Kesseling, Dave Rowe, Warren Pepper with you from Scott Field in Starkville. Jolie Dunn's defense gave up a touchdown on the opening drive, but they have clamped them down since then.
Boy, they have shut them down. And one person they've really shut down is number 9, the tight end, Rufus French. He has just been non-existent. He's got 2 catches for 15 yards. They just have not been able to find him anywhere. They've not also been able to get Avery open. He's one of those big break-it players. Anytime he comes off the line, he can go. But French has just been totally throttled.
Last year against Mississippi State, Avery had 23 carries, 123 yards in the Egg Bowl. This year so far under 100. Patridge completes it to Rome. Ducks back in, only a pickup of about 3 yards that time. Baron Simpson makes the stop for Mississippi State from his middle linebacker spot.
And Bob, this is where you go into the huddle. You tell those big offensive linemen, you say, hey, just give me a little bit more time. Matt Luke in there collapsing down the middle. They get a good block in there. You can see they're going to go after the pass now. They're going to they've got to get a drive going to take pressure off their defense. They're only down 7.
That time Ole Miss's offensive line using those cut blocks at the line of scrimmage, cutting down those big timber of Mississippi State. Clock under 10 minutes. John Avery looking for some room. Anding springs it. John Avery down the sidelines and out of bounds is in Mississippi State territory. 31 yards for John Avery. He is a dangerous hombre.
He can take it any time all the way. I thought he should have cut back, but evidently he just decided not to. Just get as many yards as he can. Watch him go to the afterburners. 2 wideouts downfield, and Hurd gets a good block on Greg Favors on the outside. Now right here, cut back inside. He decides to go down the sideline, get as many yards as he can.
Anthony Derricks runs him out of bounds. Actually, they say he stepped out of bounds at the 46-yard line. This time he goes right. Ending with a block on Derek Rush. And then he's thrown out of bounds is John Avery by Anthony Derricks.
And Derricks just zeroed in on him. He knew 20 was going to get the football. He was going to meet him at the cross point, and he just barreled in on him. You're going to see Anthony Derricks, number 6, a lot, just mirroring Avery. Right here, you know he's going to get the ball. You see number 6 back of your screen. Look at him just zeroing in. Here he comes. Right there. I'm in your picture. Don't let go.
Slings him out of bounds. Eric Brown was coming up as well. John Avery now getting the blow. Deuce McAllister is in there. 2nd down and 10. McAllister, he's tripped up. He was about ready to break into the secondary, but he stumbled. And so Deuce McAllister is going to be stopped after a pickup of about 5 yards, maybe.
I wonder if he tripped on the left guard, Omar Edwards, number 54. Looked as if he might have tripped right on his foot, right in there. Yes. He just kicked his foot, fell down. You see the fist down there. Oh, Miller, what could have been? This is 4-down territory if you're an Ole Miss fan right now.
8:40 to go. The clock runs. 3rd down and 6. Patridge over the middle. There's his big tight end, Rufus French. He rumbles down to the 20-yard line. Patridge did a great job. He looked off the secondary to the right, and then he hit French for 22 right over the middle.
It's a tight end delay. Number 9 is the tight end. He sets the back. You see him step right there now. Come free. And that's exactly what you said. He looked off to the right to allow French to kind of set back, let the coverage get away, and then come off the line. It's called tight end delay. What a good target Rufus French is.
What a good player, too, Rufus French. Jolie Dunn watching the Rebels now march on his defense. John Avery, cutback, dives for about 3. Gets close to the 15-yard line. Gregory Favors on the play for Mississippi State.
And for Tommy Tuberville, it's no rest time now for John Avery. You need him. Avery's got to stay in there. He's got the heart of a lion. He may not be big at 5'10", about 180 pounds, but he's got a lot of heart. He won't come out.
This Ole Miss team stayed in Tupelo, Mississippi, worked out there yesterday. Stayed together over the Thanksgiving break, and now trying to come up and knock off their arch rival Mississippi State. They need a touchdown to get even. Avery takes his way. And he's going to be about, you see the yard marker there, he's going to be 3 yards short on a 3rd down.
Well, there's a good cut right there. Again, Tommy Tuberville knows this is a do-or-die drive right here. Avery just kind of runs under control. He sprints out right here, gets the football. Now he's looking for the seam to develop. He doesn't see it, so he just puts his head down, dives for about 2 or 3 yards.
You see the Rebels inside the red zone. John Avery trying to catch his breath. Deuce McAllister's in there on a crucial 3rd down and 3. McAllister on the pitch. He just barely, I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage.
No, I don't think he did either. Line of scrimmage was like about the 14-yard line. He barely made it to the 15. But you know what? Eric Brown came and threw unblocked. Watch Eric Brown, number 18, comes through. He's just right in the backfield. He turns the play back in, gets a hand in there. Well, that's an outstanding play by the strong safety, Eric Brown, number 18.
The Rebels look like they decide they've got to get points on this. So Steve Lindsey now comes in to try what is going to be a 33-yard field goal. In the hold is Randall Green. Boots it up, but they're going to stop it. I think the play clock ran out.
Oh, I think the play clock ran out. I think you're exactly right. Oh, boy.
Well, you still got to kick it.
Yeah, you got to kick it. You got to come away with points. But that's a crucial one because that kick was good.
So we'll do it again. Lindsey will move back 5 yards.
You know, it's interesting from that.
Delay by the offense, 5-yard foul from previous spot, still 4th down.
You know, I was going to say, Bob, is that Lindsey was 1 of 5 from 30 to 39 yards. He's a lot better at 40 to 49 yards. He's 3 of 5. Maybe that's planned.
Yeah, make it a 37-yard field goal attempt is where they mark it. 5:54 to go in the game. Lindsey, it's blocked. It's blocked by Eric Brown. And it's picked up and run down the sideline by Isel McGill. Big defensive play by the Bulldogs.
Boy, and you think of those little things that make a difference. They let the time clock run out. The kick was good. They get the 5-yard penalty. It's blocked. That's the difference in the game.
So the Bulldogs have the lead still after the blocked field goal.
Vance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Big play in the game. Mississippi State's defense blocks a field goal.
Well, they're saying it may be Eric Brown in the middle, but it was one of the two, either he or Baden in the middle, but it was just not a high kick. You see, it didn't hit the fingertips. It hit him right about in the chest. And a huge turn of events. That little penalty really is going to loom big because they got that kick off, and that kick was good. I think I blocked it.
And now the Ole Miss defense has to step up again with 5:46 remaining. Second man through, James Johnson.
You see Jackie Sherrill there signaling out, watch the clock, let the clock tick down, use as much of the time as you can, just keep on running the football, don't fumble, don't make mistakes. If you're on the other side of the line and you're Nate Wayne, you're saying try to pull the football out, somebody dart through, get a big play in the backfield, but they have got to make a stand.
You know, suddenly the reality might be sinking in, and if Ole Miss doesn't win this game, this might be the final game of the year for these seniors.
Yeah, sure may be.
So they've got 5 minutes to try and pull this thing out. Trying to get outside. He's going to get a first down. Ridden down by Armiga Spearman.
Well, a good block that time by Stoney Price. Stoney Price coming around the outside and gets the linebacker. It's Walker Jones, the outside linebacker, right there. Locks him inside. Now watch this. Put the head down and just run over top of him. Just get that first down. Move the chains. Let the clock go. And it keeps on ticking.
Both teams have 3 timeouts left. You see Johnson now over 100 yards on the day and over 1,000 for the season. He needed 50 coming into the contest. He'll get it again. They'll pick up yardage again. Turns out for about 8 yards. He's a workhorse now.
When you can't arm tackle, you've got to get in front of him. That time it looked like maybe Conley Earls got in there or someone like that kind of slipped inside. Excuse me, not Conley Earls, but the right tackle, Michael Boone, looked as if someone got an arm on him right here, but you're not going to bring him down. Yeah, it was Michael Boone, 62. You got to get in front of him. You got to stick up in the middle. It's a big time for Nate Wayne to try to guess, to get up inside. But you see, they're worn down. Those tackles, they're worn down. They've been in that game a long time.
Under 4 minutes to go.
Got to make a stand.
Isaac down at tailback. Then they give the ball to the fullback. Bursting ahead is Nakia Greer. And let's see where they mark it. If it's inside the 40, it's another first down.
Oh, I think it is. Just, again, put those big hands on the ball. Just protect the football. This is where it wears you down. Now, if you're on Ole Miss's side, you got to start thinking about using those timeouts. You've got 3. You see the distraught look on Tommy Tuberville. He knows that they had an opportunity down here. Of course, there's Jackie Sherrill saying, just keep on running the ball. Get behind those big hosses. Robert Hicks, Thomas, Allen, get behind the big guys.
Well, if Mississippi State can go on and win this game and finish 8-3, you've got to think they're going to wind up in a bowl game somewhere. But there's still time to go. Robert Isaac wrestled down behind the line of scrimmage. Mitch Baker is back into the game. Remember, he left with a hit early in the third quarter.
Boy, and that was Baker's play. Did you see what Baker did? He darted in the backfield. He was about 4 yards in the backfield, just penetrating, trying to get in there. Watch this when he turns around. See Baker, number 90, knocks off the up block by Greer, 31. Just disrupts the whole play.
What a terrific play by Baker. He could have tackled both the fullback and the tailback. 14-7, Mississippi State.
Today's Bell South SEC Game of the Week was brought to you by Bell South. Bell South is proud to be the official telecommunications partner of the SEC. By Nations Bank. And by Nationwide Insurance. Check the yellow pages for the Nationwide agent nearest you.
It's been one of those games where you got to buckle up the chin strap a little tighter, tighten those ankle wraps, and go. And that's these two teams have been knocking each other around now for 55 minutes. 3 minutes plus now to go in the game, and the Rebels trying to stop them. James Johnson back into the game. Cut back, picks up 5. He'll need about 6 more to get a first down on a 3rd down. Morris Scott makes the play for Ole Miss's defense.
And Bob, it's kind of like take no prisoners, and neither team has. They started off in a war. It's a rivalry. Now you got to use that timeout. Serve as much time as you can. If you can stop them here, you can get the ball back for your offense. For Tommy Tuberville, he knows he's got to have some time on the clock.
If you're just joining us, Ole Miss scored on its first possession. They drove the ball right down the field to take a 7-0 lead. Mississippi State came back. Rob Morgan came on in relief of Matt Wyatt and tied the game at 7. That's where we were at halftime. And then Morgan has directed the only touchdown scoring drive of the second half. And that's where we stand, 14-7. And you got to credit, I think, also the Mississippi State defense. They've been able to shut down Stuart Patridge and John Avery.
Oh, yes, they have. They've taken away John Avery, and they've taken away Rufus French to a large degree. Those early seam passes that Corey Peterson caught, all of a sudden they were not open. They're not able to get them, and Hurd hasn't been able to get the ball either. So for Ole Miss, it's been shut down time on the offense.
So the Rebels have 1 timeout remaining.
Talk about gambling, this is the gamble right here. You've used your timeout, you're in that defensive huddle, you say, this is it. We either have to hold them here or the game's over.
And if you're Mississippi State, do you keep it on the ground or you put it in the air? If you miss, then you stop the clock. Robert Isaac and a tailback. Draw play. He's stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Now, do you call timeout or try to hurry?
Brock Kreitz makes the stop in the backfield for Ole Miss.
They're going to try to save their timeout. It's 4th down. It's about 7 yards to go. They're going to run the clock all the way down. You see Jackie Sherrill there with his stop of that watch. That's what he times a lot of things. He's looking at the clock. He's going to allow that 25-second clock to go all the way down.
Brian Hazelwood on to attempt what would be a 52-yard field goal. He's hit one from 53 this year.
Interesting, his clock still has 15 seconds on it.
Kick, line drive. It's going to be short and no good. So Ole Miss holds. Both teams misfire on field goals here in the 4th quarter, and the Rebels are still alive with 2:12 to go and 1 timeout.
Boy, that's interesting right there, because the 25-second clock in the end zone still had about 13 or 14 seconds on when he kicked that ball. I would think that in that situation, you want to let it go all the way down to just right out of time. But you give Ole Miss 15 seconds extra for Stuart Patridge, that could be a long time.
Patridge trying to rally the troops here. One last drive. Patridge looks, fires down the middle, and he overshoots his man. Looked like Hurd mistimed the jump.
No, he did. He jumped too early. The ball floated on him a little bit, and he jumped too early. He was wide open. The ball was there. Watch number 88, left of your screen. He just jumps too early. He's wide open on a seam. Look right here. He's going to jump. The ball wobbles a little bit. See, he jumps. Now he's coming down. Again, jumps too early. And look, now he's coming down, and the ball goes off his fingertips. Boy, that would have been a huge play, Bob.
Pretty good throw by Patridge that time. 2nd down and 10. Patridge slings it out. His tight end, Rufus French, makes the catch, but only picked up about 3 yards, and the clock rolls.
Yeah, that's not the play you want to do. You've got to throw it to him where he can get out of bounds. You've got that one timeout left, I believe they have one. Yes, they do have one timeout left. So you've got to hurry. Clock keeps on ticking down.
Patridge trying to call the play at the line of scrimmage. The cowbells ringing in the background. The Mississippi State fans urging the defense to make a stop. Patridge out to John Avery. Makes one man miss. What a run by Avery for a first down.
Now that stops the clocks while they move the chains forward. So now you got to hurry. You got 1:20 left. Avery, I don't want to lose my voice here, big guy.
You get pretty excited about all
man.
this.
Tell you, I love to see good offensive football. And Avery's, I'll just tell you, he's just special.
Yeah, that was a great move. Because he did not have the first down when he caught the ball. He put a juke on Tim Nelson.
Yeah, he thought about running out of bounds, but then just cut back upfield.
Clock stops for the marking of the first down, and now Patridge back to work. Looking for somebody over the middle. Now he's got to get rid of it. Throws it away. Is there anybody in the area? Nope, and that's a penalty.
Now, is it a penalty for roughing him, or is it a penalty for throwing the ball? Penalty is throwing the ball.
Illegally grounding. There was nobody along that sideline, and he threw the ball to prevent a sack.
Yeah.
Barron Simpson running him down, and a crucial penalty here for Ole Miss.
Yeah, because Patridge came out of the pocket. There was no one there. He threw the ball to avoid a sack. That's the penalty.
Foul is intentionally grounding the ball by the offense. 5-yard foul from the spot of the foul. Also loss of bounds.
Now watch this tail end right here. He throws the ball. There's nobody to receive right there. Look at Jackie Sherrill right there. Hey, wait a minute. He grounded the ball. He grounded the ball. Throw the flag.
He got the call. 2nd down and a bunch. 23 to go. But, of course, the Rebels, they've got to go to the end zone. Down 14-7. Patridge over the middle. And it's called. What a catch. Andre Roan able to go in between 2 Bulldogs and pull it down.
Wow.
Kendall Roberson and Anthony Derricks right there. But Roan, great concentration. 29 yards on the pickup, and that's a first down. Clock stops with 52 seconds.
Boy, Bob, that's huge. It stops the clock while they move the chains. You've got a chance to make a call. You're up on the line. You've got first down. That was a huge play.
Now the clock will be wound as they mark the chains, and we go. Patridge again, pressured, and throws it away. Trying to swing it out to John Avery. Over his head, incomplete. 2nd down.
Boy, and I saw Rufus French right down the middle on the hash marks, and he looked, boy, what a big target he must have looked like to Stuart Patridge. You've got to go up to the big guys. You've got to find somebody deep. You've got a lot of time. 43 seconds is a lot of time from the 35, 36-yard line.
They'll go from the shotgun on 2nd down. 10 yards to go. Patridge again, firing in and out pattern. Got his man. Corey Peterson steps out of bounds, stops the clock.
Boy, did he get the first down. He had to make about the 26-yard line to get a first down. Let's see if he makes the 26-yard line to get that first down. But
they're moving the chains. They're moving the chains. So there was a marker there, so he danced inside of that.
Yeah.
Picks up the first down.
Exactly right, Bob.
Remember, on the Ole Miss last possession, they had a field goal, but they didn't get it off in time. And then they went up, and the next time the field goal was blocked, and that field goal looms very large.
Oh, it certainly does.
They marked the wall, and then they ran a couple of seconds off the clock.
That's what I think they're saying.
37 seconds.
37 seconds.
37 seconds.
Yeah, so they ran 7 seconds off the clock, and they're going to put them back up.
Boy, that doesn't happen for the home team, does it? It's not supposed to happen to the away team. 37 seconds. You've got the ball on the 25-yard line. You've got first down. You still have a timeout left. You can get to about the 15. You've got 4 shots to throw it into the end zone.
Patridge looking to fire. He's got his man out of bounds. Rufus French. First Miss.
Now Bobby's got 4 shots at the end zone. He found Rufus French, the big target we talked about all day, number 9, the tight end. Nice out pattern right here. Gets the first down, stops the clock. Look at this. You're not going to bring Rufus French down with a body block. You've got to wrap him up. Now you've got to go into the end zone. You've got a timeout. You can stop the clock. And that really helps that they have saved that timeout.
3 wide receivers in. First down. They can get a first down if they can get it inside the run. Patridge looking into the end zone. Touchdown! Second touchdown of the day. Makes it a 1-point game.
Boy, and Tim Nelson had pressure from the outside. He was 1 step from getting Patridge. 1 step from getting Patridge. I think you go for 2 points in this situation.
Stuart Patridge, I think, is going to take the timeout. It's 14-13, Mississippi State.
Look at the pressure he's under from the outside. Look at this catch. Wide open. Andre Rome. Wasn't it Rome that made the big catch for the first down? 20-yarder, Bob?
Yes. Well, we'll see the decision when we come back, but first a word from our local SEC stations.
County Line Plaza at 1039 East County Line Road.
Tommy Tuberville going to roll the dice and go for the win. His team down 14-13. Possession of the game and what might be their last possession.
And watch this bullet right on the ground. Bang! And look at right away he knew it. Patridge knew it right off the ground. And the interesting thing is that Peterson just right over the goal line. Had to catch a low catch. Just looked it in. He's been his favorite receiver all day. Watch him. He's going to catch it right over the middle. Number 85. Curl. Come right in the middle. Bang! Dart right to him. Sure hands. Good pocket. Good open. McGill just not there in time.
That was something, wasn't it?
Boy, that was quite a play.
I mean, you talk about having to throw it perfectly because Lizelle McGill was right there. Corey Peterson, sophomore from Germantown, Tennessee, with the 2-point play, and Ole Miss leading it 15-14. Still 25 seconds remaining.
Boy, and Bob, you start thinking now, if you're Tommy Tuberville, you just had all that emotion, but now you've got to worry about Mississippi State because they've got a field goal kicker, Hazelwood, who can flat out kick the football.
They kick it short. And Dennis McKinley fields it. Now, remember, Mississippi State has all 3 timeouts remaining, and Hazelwood's got a gun for a leg.
They tried one of 50 already. He's got a long of 53 yards this season, so they don't have to get a whole long way for him to get a shot at it.
Now Matt Wyatt comes back in at quarterback. They need his arm right here. He's the best thrower on the team. State's got to get at least 2 first downs in the last 20 seconds. Wyatt dumps it. Woodbury only picked up about 3 in the clock runs, and State's going to have to burn a timeout.
Boy, and that took almost half the time that they had on the clock.
Nate Wayne dumps him. What a day Nate Wayne has had. He's got 10 tackles. Now there's a penalty flag down, and I think Ole Miss had too many players on the field. 13 seconds remaining on the game clock.
Sometimes you need that many to defend.
Yeah.
It was thrown in the secondary of Ole Miss. You think it's going to go against them? That could be big. That could be a 15-yard penalty.
So they walk the the penalty off.
Foul was illegal participation by the defense. 12 men on the field. A 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Well, when you look that way, it's a good play for Mississippi State. They pick up the yardage, although they lost some time off the clock.
Well, they've got to make the 35-yard line to have a 53-yard field goal. So you've got to get somewhere 35 to 40-yard line to get in Hazelwood's distance.
Wyatt going to throw it long, right sideline, and it's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by Timothy Strickland. Kevin Prentice was the intended receiver, but Strickland broke on the ball, makes the interception, and Ole Miss now can wind the clock down, only 3 seconds remaining.
And Bob, what happened to Matt Wyatt happens to a lot of quarterbacks. When you throw that out pattern, you cannot float the football. You've got to drill it. You see Jackie Sherrill saying you've got to drill the football in there. You can't float it in there, and that's exactly what happened to Wyatt. Now it's kneel down time, and boy, is there going to be a celebration in Ole Miss. And think of how we started this football game, the altercation, the big fight. We talked about the rivalry. It was huge.
Bantridge going to touch it down, and the clock will roll. And the Ole Miss Rebels score in the closing seconds to knock off Mississippi State 15-14. Both teams finished the season 7-4. Both teams now wait to see if they get a bowl bid. Andre Roan with both touchdown catches for Ole Miss as they win it. It's been a great season of SEC football, capped off with the Egg Bowl win today. For Dave Rowe, Warren Pepper, this is Bob Kessling, our entire SEC crew. You've been watching Jefferson Pilot Sports exclusive coverage of Southeastern Conference football, and the Egg Bowl trophy goes back to Oxford.